by private donors and are not coming out of the FEMA money nor the money coming from the state or the Ram settlement bill. She also says that there is a website being established by the city where they can find reputable contractors to avoid being scammed. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Our metropolitan region is getting a big boost in population from new Asian and Hispanic residents, but those groups are not necessarily settling in St. Louis City.
The most alarming population numbers continue to come out of St. Louis City.
The city has experienced the largest population decline in our 15-county MSA, and it's coming from the black population and the white population.
St. Louis University demography professor Ness Sandoval says St. Louis City is second in the country in terms of black population loss and number one for large cities in terms of overall population loss.
I don't see, at least in the next couple of years, the city being able to turn this around.
He says housing for families will be crucial in attracting Asian and Hispanic populations to St. Louis City. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The KMOX business desk. If not for President Trump's tariffs and threats of tariffs, interest rates would be lower today. That's what Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says. Powell spoke in Portugal at a conference of central bank leaders from around the world.
In effect, we went on hold when we saw the size of the tariffs and essentially all inflation forecasts for the United States went up materially as a consequence of the tariffs.
The Dow from Stifel's up 439 points to 44,534. We've got a crash on 6440 going westbound at Forest Park. That's got the right lane and shoulder closed. Some road work on 70 West at Route A. That's on the right shoulder. Also road work on 5570 East at 64 Illinois 3. That's in the right lane.
What a beautiful afternoon around town. Lots of sunshine, less humid. It's comfortable with a northwest flow. A rare northwest flow this time of year. 87 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. A quick drop through the 80s for evening plans. Check out the first quarter moon in the sky. Nice night. Low humidity, 67 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 89. Clear skies, 69 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny, 93 in the afternoon. The heat and humidity will start to build back Thursday afternoon. Friday for the 4th, sunny, hot, and humid. Maybe a spot or an isolated thunderstorm. Odds are really low. 95 on Friday. Right now, Friday evening, looking fine. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Saks Financial. It's sunny and 84 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey, it's Jeff at Saks Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Happy Tuesday to everybody. You know how I know it's Tuesday? Because I can't go to Chris's Pancakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and much like Chick-fil-A, which you can't go to on Sundays, I mostly crave it on Sundays. I mostly crave Chris's on Tuesdays.
It's weird, isn't it?
And then it's like, oh, I can't go.
It's human psychology.
Bummer.
Yeah, I wanted to start the show today. Tom Ackerman is such a big fan of the DGS. He's such a great guy. I walked in already knowing I was going to do this, and he was talking about a segment we had last week and how it made him think back to childhood and how cool it was and such. And Tom and I are great friends, but we're so different. He's so happy and just proud of what he does. And I was listening to him on Gas House Gang, and he was doing a comeback, and he's like, coming to you from KMOX in downtown St. Louis. And then I'm like, downtown sucks. Like, we're like brothers, you know? Like, he's the happy, shiny one, and I'm the curmudgeon. Like, that sucks.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we offered each other some balance in the sports department when I was there.
Yeah, you need both.
Yeah.
You need both.
Yeah. And then, like, Paulie's kind of the mix of the two.
Yeah.
He's kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah, Paulie can get a little spicy.
Yeah. It's funny, though, the first time I've seen him look short was when he was walking out next to Skip yesterday.
Oh.
He walked in and Skip was walking out. I'm like, well, Matt finally looked short.
Yeah. Matt's a big boy.
He is. He is. Yeah, he's a 6'3", 6'4" guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wasn't. Still not.
You want one of those weird time things?
Time things, yeah.
So tomorrow,
Are we time traveling?
tomorrow's July 2nd.
Yeah.
Correct. So at some point tomorrow, we will be officially closer to 2050 than 2000. Let that settle in.
Mm-hmm.
Let that settle in. Closer. We are closer to 2050 than 2000.
I thought we had already hit it. I thought we hit it like a...
Damn. We're halfway through 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know. I had a worse one today. I'm always so honest with you guys. We had a big meeting with our boss today about the future of KMOX. And he said, it's Tom Ackerman, not you. No, he said, be careful that you don't, talk about being old. You know, because we're trying to get younger people and they don't want to just be like the old man hour. But I saw something today on TikTok, and it was a video of Mickey Mantle hitting a walk-off home run in Game 3 of the 1964 series, and I was alive. I was 1 month old. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
Just like when you see the old grainy footage, and I know life didn't look like that. I know it looked just like it does now. But when you see the old grainy footage and you're like...
Everybody's walking around in black and white
like
back in the day.
I was alive. Like I was a little thing.
I don't know.
Dave.
I was born in 91. You know, a lot of footage from that time has like this VHS quality to where it's like, it's fuzzy, it's staticky, whatever. That is how my memory is too. With a lot
I
of
feel
stuff.
you. Yeah, I get it.
From whenever I was really little. So I'm like, maybe life was actually like, who's to say?
I totally get that. Yeah, when I see photos from the 90s, I'm like, yeah, that's the way life looked.
It's because that's how the photos looked.
It wasn't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, Tommy was talking about how his dad would have a big shindig every year for customers and clients, I'm guessing, and employees at the drapery. And he would stick his hands in this big igloo cooler full of ice and pull out an orange soda and down 2 or 3 of those, and just what good memories it was and playing with the kids. And it's good. It's cool. It's tight.
Yeah, it reminds me of my school field days where they would...
Oh, field days.
The best part of field day was lunch because they would grill up like hot dogs and bratwurst and you went and got in line and got your stuff. And then they did have like tubs of soda and bottled water and stuff. But just line up and you could drink as much as you wanted.
So I was a pretty good little athlete, obviously not elite or I wouldn't be here, but had field day been the Olympics,
You're like, I'd have all the gold.
I would be gold in the sack race and the 3-legged race and the shoe race. I just loved everything about field day. I would get mad when people wouldn't take it seriously.
Yeah. Our high school did it super seriously.
Oh, yeah?
It was called Armageddon Day. So with the whole day off, and it's all just each class competing against the other classes in everything.
Stuff like that.
So obviously the freshmen always get smoked in the tug of war. That's always going to be the juniors and the seniors because they're so much bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
But you could have there were basketball matchups. There were how far can you throw a football? How far can you kick a football? All that kind of stuff was just all over the place. Long jumps, all that.
You know how you have awakenings, especially athletically? And so being from South Roxana, I was very, very cloistered. We all were. We didn't know that there was a pool 5 miles away. We didn't know that there was a skating rink. We didn't do any of those things. And so in like 5th and 6th grade, I got really into skateboarding. And I was kind of obsessed with it, and I considered myself quite the little skateboarder. And in 7th grade, we had a field day, and there was a skateboarding competition. And I'm like, well, just go ahead and give me the trophy now. And I showed up and realized I couldn't skateboard at all. Like, I could go straight. I could turn.
Right, but you weren't doing any dipsy-do.
I wasn't flipping. I wasn't 360 in.
No.
And I just kind of politely picked up my board and
no 720s.
stepped to the side.
So did you not know there were tricks prior to that?
No, because there was like, how
I
would I
guess you
know?
didn't have
it was
YouTube or
pre Tony
anything.
Hawk, before skateboarding was even cool.
Never on television.
Yeah, good
No.
point.
All I
was-
knew is that I could do stuff. I could do more stuff than the people in my neighborhood,
Right.
but I didn't realize just how behind I was.
Yeah.
And life's kind of like that.
Much more then than now.
Yeah.
Right? You're just not sure what the heck's out there. You're all like, I'm a great basketball player. And then you start playing and you're like, well, maybe I'm not a great basketball
Yeah.
player.
When I got to Wash U Law, everyone was smart, but they also worked harder than me.
Mm,
So I'm seeing a real pattern here.
yeah. It is fascinating, though, that when you start off, like, just your thoughts, your ideas of how things work.
Yeah.
And then over time, you realize, okay, that's how that works. Okay. Oh, boy, some of those people are really good at that.
Yeah.
I'm not so good at that.
I think I've said this before. I know it's a hacky stand-up joke. I don't mean it that way. It's literal. About 2 months ago, I bought Prevagen to help my memory, and I keep forgetting to take it.
I think of you every time I see the Prevagen commercials, Dave.
Yeah, that old pharmacist, David.
David.
The guy in the Prevagen commercial going, was I supposed to take something today? Where did I put that?
So I'm terrible at those things, too, which is why I put those things right near my keys and wallet.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm going to leave, I'm like, oh, can't forget that.
Yeah.
That's the only way I remember. Or I got to set reminders on my phone, and I don't like to do too many of those.
So it's a brain pill?
Yeah.
That's what it is? It's supposed to, like, help your memory?
Yes.
That's exciting. I'm looking at it
Yeah,
online right now.
If you remember to take it.
I wouldn't know.
Do they have another pill that'll help you remember to take the pill?
Yeah.
Take your Prevagen pill.
Your pre-Prevagen.
Rachel says, so it's for memory? And you go, I don't remember what it's for.
Maybe?
I don't remember what it's for. I don't know.
I think it's rectal. I don't know. I hate taking pills.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that's gotten in my head. I'm a mess.
My
I'm a
latest
mess.
thing when it comes to taking medications.
I bet Tom Ackerman can take pills.
Yeah.
Like a champ.
But he doesn't need to, though.
I bet he takes pills he doesn't even need.
I'll have my little pill and I'll get like my bottle of Gatorade or whatever. And I convince myself that I have like it when I took the drink, it like flew into the bottle of Gatorade, so then I gotta like check it.
Oh, you're weirder than me.
Make sure there's not a pill floating around in there. Like, I feel like I didn't feel it go down.
But then when you can feel it, it's like, ugh, that ruined my day.
It's much worse to actually be able to feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You take like one of those big vitamins or something. Have you guys ever taken a vitamin and then immediately barfed?
I have puppy puked on them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because if you take like, I don't know, just one of
I
those
know what
big
you
ones
mean.
on like an empty stomach, it's like, oh,
The
cannot
big
be
nasty
doing that.
smelling
Yes.
ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh. They're like an inch long.
Mm-hmm. When I took those two liquid gel cap, whatever, ibuprofens, and one went behind one eye and one went behind my other eye, and I think one went into Phoebe's brain. Like, it was just in a piece of my face I didn't know I had. And no one was home, and I'm like straight up walking around my kitchen trying to Heimlich myself on my island and just making goose noises. And I'm thinking to myself, it's a liquid gel. It's going. Now it's just a race against time. Does it die or do I die first?
Well, I'm glad you're still with us.
I was going to say, we know who won, Dave.
I beat the crap out of those liquid gels.
You are the champion.
Thank you. I almost said the S word. That would have made Tom Ackerman happy. He's like, yes.
Got another one on him.
This guy's gone.
Man.
So, how about that Fetty? I almost texted you last night, but I was too angry.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yesterday, I did a whole thing with Bernie Miklasz, like, you're letting angst ruin your whole, just baseball. Take it easy. And I couldn't even text you because I was so mad.
I get it. I mean, like, I get both parts of it, like, because bigger picture, like, after the game and everything settles down, you should be able to, any fan should be able to be like, yes, exactly. You should be able at the end of the game, end of the night, be like, all right,
game.
Hey, look, they're still better than we thought they were going to be. Or even if they're worse, hey, look, there's nothing they can do about it till the offseason, whatever. But in the moment, it's still annoying.
Yes.
In the moment when you're throwing cutters over the middle and they're getting hammered and you can't do anything about it, I mean,
Do you think they let him go too long, or is that just one of those fait accomplis, like this is just what the game's going to be?
I mean, I think they probably did, but I understand why they did. Although we were texting about it, a little bit last night, and I brought up the question, like, did you really need to try to push him when you already had in the previous series a complete game by Sonny Gray? Like, the bullpen was pretty well rested coming out of the Cleveland series because they didn't have to pitch very much. Might have been the time to have the quicker trigger, especially, I brought this up yesterday on Gas House. You've got a few starting pitchers, and Fetty's one of them, Palante and Michaelis too. The third time through the order, they struggle.
Yeah.
So you have to start making the decision now that it's competitive environment, right? You're trying to win games. You're in you're in a wild card spot. You're only a couple of games out of the division. Do you need to start pulling just like go and getting the hook sooner?
Well, like
for
I
those
said
guys?
to you,
Or do you try an opener where you use somebody like Swanson or whatever in the first inning against their best hitters and then start?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of teams do this. The Dodgers do this all the time, where they'll have an opener face those top guys, and then the next guy comes in and he'll pitch 5 innings, 6 innings, but he'll only have to face the good hitters twice instead of 3 times.
But I'm sure you agree, we shouldn't have to work that hard to work around our number 2 pitcher.
No, and I mean, this is the problem, right? I mean, Sonny and Libby have been great. Liberatore had a few rough starts, but overall, 16, 17 starts, he's been excellent. And Sonny Gray's been excellent. You know what you're getting almost every time out with those guys.
Yeah.
The other 3 guys at times have been really good, right? I mean, Bernie pointed out the numbers, I think, yesterday that, they're still one of the better rotations in baseball when it comes to total with innings of work, things along those lines. And they have had at times done a good job. The problem is the peaks and the valleys are too separate. There are too many valleys, and the valleys are too deep.
Yes.
So if you look at Fetty and you look at his game log, it'll be like 2 good ones, 2 bad ones, 3 good ones, 3 bad ones. And the bad ones are really bad ones, like last night, where they take you out of the game. And Michaelis has had the same problem, and Palante has had it too. Even when they've been good for stretches, the bad is still probably too bad.
The floor is unacceptably low.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell you guys about my good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin, about Balance Health. And I'm not just talking to 60-year-olds out there. I'm talking to 40-year-olds, men and women. For whatever reason, I'm not sure that medical science has caught up with why we're losing our testosterone earlier these days, whether it's diet or lack of exercise or environmental or microplastics, who the hell knows? But we're losing our testosterone faster. Having lost a lot of my testosterone, I can tell you that you just feel like an older version of yourself. You feel like you have kind of a light flu all the time, and you don't know it because you're like a frog in boiling water. You don't know it until you get better, until you do the hormone replacement therapy with the pellets, and then you go, oh, that's right. This is what it feels like to have a libido. This is what it feels like to not completely dread going into the gym. This is what it feels like to not bonk every day at 3 p.m. and just, don't schedule me any meetings after this. It all gets better. I promise you. I've been doing it for 6 years. Money's not important enough to me to lie to you about this. It will help you. All you need to do is reach out and take a blood test at biobalancehealth.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-979-3168. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
Olivet Assembly Incorporated is seeking a director of design in St. Louis, Missouri to design signboards, interiors, and decorations for the Olivet Assembly of USA's buildings. 20% of time. Design and manage Olivet Assembly of USA website. 15%. Provide graphic designs and manage the branding of websites for churches affiliated with Olivet Assembly of USA. 15%. Provide training and guidelines to each church for managing the website's article and banner images. 15% of time. Develop design concepts, banners, and flyers and prepare event venues for seasonal events for the Olivet Assembly. 15%. Fulfill design-related requests for each affiliated church, including banners, signboards, flyers, brochures, business cards, and decorations. 10% of time. Photograph, edit, and organize photos of events, buildings, and activities related to the Olivet Assembly and affiliated churches. 10%. Master's degree in graphic arts, graphic design, or related field required. Salary is $46,218 per year. Email resume to mspisak@olivetassembly.org.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. For over 30 years, St. Louis families have trusted Suntrup Ford Westport and Suntrup Ford Kirkwood as a proud, family-owned and operated dealership. We offer more than just great deals. We offer peace of mind. At Suntrup Ford, you'll find a huge selection of inventory to choose from, unmatched customer service, and our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection program. Visit in store or online at suntrupford.com. Save more at Suntrup Ford. Visit suntrupford.com.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
Welcome back, guys. DGS and KMOX. So, in radio terms, since KMOX went to FM, we have added a ton of QM, which is just a fancy radio term for people. We have a huge number of brand new listeners, many of whom I'm sure came over to listen to Cardinals baseball on the FM, and then they either stick around or they don't. And so we have to be very much better than we typically are about letting you know what the show's about. And I'll just address one thing, kind of the elephant in the room, which is anyone who does any sort of content these days, any sort of generalist, and any sort of like a 4-hour show, you have to make a decision, and you kind of have to make a deal with the devil on politics. Because many times the top story is going to be politics. And most of the time it's going to be Donald Trump centric. I mean, let's face it, the man has worked his ass off to be the most famous person in the history of the world. I don't like Donald Trump. I'm a former conservative who feels like the party left him, but I'm also very cognizant and respectful of people who disagree with me politically. So I would say this. This show has 4 people on it every day, and then we bring people in for things like the think tank and just, guest spots. We always keep it even with the guest. We never have, 2 of one on, or in a week have 3 liberals and no conservatives. So we try very hard to keep it down the middle. I try very hard to keep my opinions civil and policy driven, and I appreciate when you guys do the same thing. There's a guy who watches us on the stream named Brian M. He's not on there right now, but Brian is obviously much more conservative than I am, and I disagree with his policies, but I respect him because although we'll get salty every now and then, he always comes back with something respectful, and I appreciate that. So we would probably disagree about most things, but I would have a beer with Brian M. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? So just to let you know where we are politically, like 97.1, where I was anchor of the afternoons for 20 years, they have an agenda. They are a conservative station. Mark Cox is not going to mince words. He loves Donald Trump, and he loves all things Trumpy, and he's probably buying the $250 cologne that he's selling now. And that's okay. Mark and I are pals, but we disagree politically. So on this show, we will talk about political topics. We'll try to do it as evenly as we can, but we're human. And I don't want me or anyone else on the show or you, the listener, to have to hide who you are or what you think because you're afraid someone's going to go off on you. So just need to get that out of my face. So, $250 cologne. Have you heard this one, Wheels?
No.
Yes.
Is that a lot or not a lot?
That's a lot.
Because I don't buy cologne.
No, that's a lot. And the president is selling, it's called Trump Victory 4547 or something like that. So that's the stuff. Like, we can talk about what to do with undocumented immigrants. We can talk about what to do with tax cuts. We can talk about what to do militarily in Gaza. We can talk about all those things. The thing that has turned me against Donald Trump is mostly that stuff. The grift, the laser beam, ripped body trading cards, the Bible, the $250 cologne. Like, just so you know where I am politically, open to policy discussions, kind of out on that stuff.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey.
I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman.
From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Susan L. Ward. So when you're talking about divorce, I take it very seriously. I have been divorced. I have done about 200 divorces as an attorney. And I hate the concept of like divorce parties. It's a sad thing, especially when there are children involved. And I have seen how you can take an already precarious position, because let's just be adults here. If you are seeing a divorce attorney, if you're going through a divorce, things aren't great between you and your spouse. But nothing will make them worse like a divorce. And many attorneys, I can say this now freely, many divorce attorneys will whip it up on purpose so that rather than being a $5,000 divorce, it's a $25,000 divorce. Susan L. Ward has been around the block. I've known her for 30 years, and she was great back then. She does not do that ever. If you want to keep things amicable and you want to try to maybe mediate the case, she can oversee that. She will keep things between the rails for you. If someone is not going to cooperate, if someone's being mean, if someone has been abusive emotionally, mentally, physically, addiction problems, then she will be a fierce advocate. But she has every arrow in the quiver. She'll give you a free consultation when you call and let them know that you're from the show. 314-783-9400, stlfamilylaw.com.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning and Electrical.
A rare treat with our weather with a northwest flow. We don't see that much during the summertime. Lots of sunshine. Feel the difference out there. Less humid. It's comfortable. 87 for the high. That's just about where we should be, but the low humidity makes it delightful. And that's the cue for this evening. Spectacular. Clear skies. Nice first quarter moon in the sky. 67 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 89. Heat and humidity will start to slowly build back on Thursday. 93 Thursday. 4th of July, it's sunny, it's hot, it's humid, nothing more than an isolated thunderstorm, and 95 on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Jerry Kelly swings next day installs no matter how late you call. And because they work later every day, they're faster when your equipment just needs fixing too.
That's MVP material.
Yep, simple fix or a full install, nobody gets you comfortable faster.
JerryKelly.com.
Rolling hot dogs 2 for $5 on a fluffy bun. All beef hot dogs rolling in. Hurry, cause they're on the run. Pick your toppings anyway. Rolling to this deal. Pick your 2, big Q2. Rolling makes a meal. Mustard relish, sauerkraut. Ain't no need to scream and shout. Get 2 all beef hot dogs and a big Q for $5. Only at QT.
more than a gas station.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Renewal by Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Just dial pound 250 on your phone and say the keyword Windows. That's pound 250 keyword Windows, or head to rbastl.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 134. Beautiful, gorgeous day out there today. Did you guys see that the Idaho murderer, Kohlberger, has agreed to a plea deal?
Yeah.
Did see that.
And at least one of the families are really, really pissed. And one of the girls, the daughter of the family who's so angry, looks so much like my daughter, Phoebe, that I can barely watch coverage. And Phoebe is moving into a house with 3 other girls that looks a lot like that house. So it's just a little too close for comfort for me. And it's too emotional for me because when I look at that guy and his dead eyes, I just think of my daughter. And so I can imagine, having been through the legal system a little bit, just wanting it over, because even if they convict him and sentence him to death, you're talking 15, 20, 25 years of constant appeals and who knows what sort of shenanigans he says and gets up to.
And that's assuming you get a guilty verdict.
That's assuming you get a guilty verdict. Yeah. So I can imagine, like the one dad was saying, I'm thankful for this. We can put it behind us. Let him go serve the rest of his life in prison and get beat up or whatever happens to him. But yeah, at least one of the families are really angry about it.
I apologize if this has been covered, but do we know like what Brian Kohlberger's relationship was to these students?
I've not heard anything in particular. It sounds like he was casing the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know that he had any sort of like he was stalking one of the girls or had been rebuffed or something like that. I think maybe he just picked them out. He just decided he was going to kill some people and picked them out, which is terrifying.
Yeah. It is an interesting question, isn't it? Which is actually worse? Like him getting the death penalty and not contesting it and he's dead in 2 years versus spending the next, what is he, 30?
He's 30.
30? So spending the next 50 years locked up with some pretty awful, scary people?
Yeah.
Which one's the harsher punishment? It's an interesting question
Mm-hmm.
because I would agree if I'm the parent of the murdered child, I want him dead. Like I know I would feel that.
Yes.
But I'm not emotionally attached to it now, and I wonder, would it be actually more actual punishment of 50 years in a maximum security prison in general population?
I would think the worst, I'm just putting myself in the shoes of the killer, is if I were convicted, given the death penalty, and I had to wait 20 years to do it, because now I've got 20 years to worry about that.
Yeah.
Which I would.
Yeah, but if given the choice, because you don't have to contest it.
Right.
I mean, it's only going 20 years if you contest it.
Yeah.
Although there are some that are mandatory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some are mandatory.
Okay.
But yeah, you could cut it in half.
But if you were given the choice of you're never getting out, it's 50 years, and you're going to be locked in maximum security, general population,
Not
or
great.
do you want to go down in 2 years with a injection?
Isn't it? I mean, I know that these,
I don't know the answer.
I know these people are obviously murderous criminals, so they're not like us.
Right.
But just, you have to, he seems like a pretty smart guy. He's not an idiot. He had to know he was going to get caught. I mean, maybe that's just the hubris that, you think that you can commit the perfect crime.
I mean, clearly he thought that, right? I mean, because he was studying it. So he probably felt like he, of all people, he'd be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. That's that hubris. That's that arrogance.
And just the feeling, like, I would have to think that whether it's a school shooter or a mass shooter or whatever it is, when they survive, that once the excitement is over and they're just in handcuffs and they're just eating bologna sandwiches every day, you think they'd have to be like, what the hell did I do? You would think.
No idea.
You would think.
I mean, the brain could be so
so
far
compromised.
gone. They're just thinking about whatever else they think about.
Rach, what are you on Rosie O'Donnell's side for?
Well, she took to Instagram to complain about the Jeff Bezos wedding.
Yeah.
As many people are doing. People are being like pretty mean about the way Lauren Sanchez looks and stuff like that. And normally I'm like, oh, you shouldn't say things like that. But in this case, I'm letting it slide. But Rosie got on Instagram and she was like, why was Oprah at this wedding? Why are you friends with Jeff Bezos? What was her exact quote? Let me get it pulled up here. I have it right here. She goes, why is Oprah friends with Jeff Bezos? Really? How is that possible? He treats his employees with disdain. By any metric, he is not a nice man. And his fake fembot wife who looks like that, ... Why would he choose her after the salt of the earth, Mackenzie Scott? The devil is smiling at all his conquests.
Jeez.
I know what I was
pretty
like.
flowery.
I was like, dang, go off, Rosie. But I mean, I don't think a false word was spoken.
Yeah, I don't know other than the billionaires are friends. And I know that maybe the connections through Gayle King.
Well, that's what an article I read had said was like, Gayle King is really good friends with Lauren Sanchez now because they went into space together. They were both on the Blue Origin flight.
Do you think, really think about this, you suddenly have $200 billion, okay? You have it. You can buy literally anything in the world you want. Do you care what people think of you?
No.
Or you don't? You
No.
sure about that?
Why would I care? I have $200 billion.
I think I still would. But I think that's my pathology.
I think it's I think it's not impossible not to care because we've seen how much Elon cares what people think of him.
Yeah.
And so maybe when you get a little billionaire, you're like, I don't care what people think. But then when you become the most billionaire and you run out of things to chase, you're like, now I'm back to caring about what people think.
When you stop caring about your money. Because I think eventually you do. I think everyone gets bored with everything eventually. And I think I would like to try. I would like to see what I'd like to have so much money, I'm bored with it. But
it's hard to even, as Rachel's pointed out many times, like your brain changes when you get that much money.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard to even be able to put yourself in the position of like, what would I do if I had $1 billion?
Well,
Like,
and like,
it's like a psychosis.
I mean, Elon's a great example of someone who, I mean, he is the richest man in the world as far as we know. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who have a ton of money whose names we don't know. But that kind of proves my point too. there are lots of people who have billions of dollars who are just laying low, doing whatever they want. They genuinely don't care if anyone knows their name. In fact, they prefer it if no one knows their name. So I think it's hard to paint with a broad brush and be like, everyone would still care what everyone thinks. I think it's down to the individual, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't care what other people think, but I would still care about other people. And I don't get the sense that people like Bezos and Elon do. I don't think they care at all about people in general. If you did, you wouldn't do the things they do. If you had any care at all for other human beings in this world, you wouldn't rent out all of Venice for your stupid wedding. You wouldn't screw up all those other people's vacation plans. Because look, man, you're one of the richest people on earth. You can go to Venice every weekend if you want to. A lot of those people, it's their lifetime trip. They've been saving their entire lives to do these. But because your wedding happens to fall on that day, everything's going to shut down because you're there. That does. I don't care how rich you are. You're something wrong with you. And actually, I would argue that to get to that level, there probably has to be something wrong with you. That you just completely disregard other human beings. They don't matter. They're lines on a spreadsheet so that you can gain more of what you want. Because how else do you get to that point?
It's just interesting with Oprah has this reputation of Oprah's my friend. Oprah's looking out for me. Oprah comes up with life advice that makes my life better. And it's nah, man, she's going to Jeff Bezos' wedding. She knows you can see that she did this and she's still choosing to go. At least Leonardo DiCaprio had the common sense to try to cover up his face as he was leaving because he knew he was going to get pushback for it. But the Kardashians and Oprah and Orlando Bloom and all these people, they see Sydney Sweeney, they just want to go revel in it and feel better than all of us. And you know what? That's fine. But like I said, normally I'm you should be nicer than that. In this case, I'm go ahead, say whatever you want about these folks. They don't care about us. They are living on a different planet than we are.
No.
We have there is nothing that I can relate to my life that applies to Jeff Bezos or Lauren Sanchez or any of these people who attended this wedding.
I mean, that guy could literally just buy an estate somewhere in Italy or anywhere and have the wedding on his estate. But nope, he's got to do the power move. We're taking over Venice, guys. That's how big I rule. That's all it is. And if you don't care about other human beings at all, then I got nothing for you. And I don't know why anybody worries about what protects billionaires or what doesn't. Who cares? We should be taxing the living hell out of those people. But we don't because they're the ones that give all the money to the people we elect.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 acts of kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Talk about Michael's Flooring. Mike has been with me for 25 years. He is the simplest, easiest client any radio personality has ever had. Why is that important to you? Because the same sort of laid back, absolutely, dude, that'll work for me attitude that Mike has given me for 25 years is the same attitude he's going to give you. When I say that all of my friends and family have been to Michael's, I'm telling you, all my friends and family in 25 years, everyone I know has at some point needed flooring. And to answer your question, yes, people do reach out to me all the time in my personal life and say, like, hey, who's that guy that you talked about for, jewelry or for this or for that? And everyone has been super, super happy with Mike, whether it's wall-to-wall carpeting, which is our, bread and butter, but we also have linoleum and hardwood flooring and pretty much anything you can think of flooring-wise. And we have, all the major brands and all the major lines within them. We're going to have budget lines. We're going to have medium, normal person lines. We're going to have very upscale, this is as nice as flooring gets kind of lines. 3 locations around town. Find the nearest one to you at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545. Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 149. Here's a good billionaire for you. Warren Buffett just gave away $6 billion of his net worth. He's pledged to give away 99% of his money before he dies. This is his biggest donation yet.
Good.
Yeah.
He's one billionaire I definitely don't have a hate for.
Yeah.
Because he's not rubbing it in your face, and he's certainly not trying to run government agencies and such.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any suggestion on how one might get a hold of some of that?
You have to go through the Gates Foundation.
Mr. Buffett.
He gave it to Bill Gates, who's giving it away to other people. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A poll of Gen Z.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to donate shares
and you're
going to
give me some back.
to Bill Gates. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well,
A
sure.
poll of Gen Zers and millennials found that 50% would be embarrassed if someone saw the current state of their home without being able to pick it up.
I mean,
Isn't that every home
I was
in
going to
America?
I'd say that right now.
Definitely mine.
Don't go in my room.
Yeah.
You know what's something that's truly evil, and I admit I've done it myself? You have someone over, and you have cleaned, and you still go, oh, excuse the mess.
Mm-hmm.
That's psychologically damaging, and I repent for my sins. I should have never done that to anyone.
I'm king of that. I'm king of that.
You know, it's funny. I do the opposite. I'm like, when I go to someone else's house, I'm not checking out to see if there's dust in the corner. I don't care. I don't even look. Nobody's looking.
I had my house inside painted about 8 months ago, and still, anytime someone comes over, I'm like, pardon the mess.
They're painting.
They're painting.
It's painting.
And you know what? The the painters who I hated did me a solid in that they left one can of paint, which I have left out.
For the ruse.
For the ruse.
100%
for the ruse.
Yeah.
And I go like, I think they're not even finished. They're still painting.
So now doing this today, does this mean the ruse is ended?
No one comes over anyway.
He was like, nobody's listening.
When I say when people come
It's
over,
like, I just made a confession. Well,
yeah.
still going to try it.
Yeah, if I had a steady stream, I'd be worried about it, but no. Not too worried about it. Are you guys more overall messy, or do you have one room where everything goes?
I've got one room.
Yeah, I got the one.
I'd say there's 2 spots where messes accrue in my house that are related to me. This is my room, which is just laundry and, whatever. Like, oh, I found this thing. Well, it's just going to sit up there for now. And then the kitchen sink area.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the dishwasher is clean, but I don't feel like unloading it at the moment, I will just stack. So other than that, but that's not too common. That one's usually pretty.
Does anyone else use their dishwasher as their cabinets?
Brother, I don't even have a dishwasher.
Oh.
Some of us are out here living lives dishwasherless.
Man, oh man.
I know.
God love you.
Hard scrabble, old school.
I didn't until about 6 months ago. We got a shelf dishwasher.
Oh, how's that working
It's like
out
this
for
big.
you?
It's not bad. I like it. I like it a lot.
Is that like a microwave kind of thing?
Yeah,
Like the
it's
same
bigger.
size?
It's bigger than a microwave. It's maybe twice the size of a microwave. It's
Perfect for
got-
the two of you.
Yeah, it fits that night's dinner or whatever. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You fit it in there, and then you hook it up to the sink.
I was gonna say, is it one that you like run a hose into the
Yeah.
sink?
You run water from the sink, and then you have a drainage hose that you kind of loop back into the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Works
I've
pretty
looked
well.
into those when I moved into this apartment because I had a dishwasher at my past couple of places and grew quite fond of them.
Mhm.
But then I decided it wasn't going to be worth it.
It's unwieldy. Like you definitely have to have. We happen to have a space where it would fit.
Yeah.
On like a rolling kind of kitchen island thing.
Does that mean that wieldy is a word?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone say it.
So if,
but
if everything is put together and you're
Yeah.
very wieldy?
unwieldy definitely implies the existence of a wieldy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have like a rolling kitchen island or something, it works great. Otherwise, it kind of wouldn't really work all that well.
Supposedly, this is the peak week for s'mores. That's insane. Who's building a fire tonight?
Yeah.
You think
S'mores are like October.
you think it's more of the people like doing 4th of July stuff?
Yeah, I guess.
I have been making s'mores lately. Now that I have the fire pit and stuff, I will say
What
I have.
don't
been
He's
you
living
have?
his life. Seriously.
He's got a hammock.
Daddy Warbucks.
He's got a hammock. He's got a dishwasher.
He has a
He's
hammock.
got a fire pit.
Folks, he has a hammock in his living room.
He's got a switch
Inside.
too.
It is a nightmare having a hammock in the.
Switch
That's the
to-
thing. When you say like, "Is your house messy?" I'm like, dude, I have a hammock in my living room, and my life is a mess.
Wait, that sounds good though.
My home is It's not. It's not. I would point you to the amount of times that I have tripped over it and fallen on my face, and then my wife comes running out of the bedroom saying that was the loudest sound I've ever heard. And I thought a car went through our. Thought a car drove through the front of our house.
Nothing
Andrew,
brings on sexy time like that.
Andrew definitely still the age where it's funny when you fall.
Meanwhile, I'm laying face down on the carpet, going, "Ah!"
I was going to unload the dishwasher.
It hurts so bad.
I got
She's like-
attacked by the hammock.
Yeah, when she said that was the loudest sound I've ever heard, I said that's not helping.
You're hurting my feelings.
It was. I was like, that
Kind of.
is
Have you ever
the
like,
least helpful thing you could say.
But like I've had that where I've hit the ground and I'm like, I can't believe how loud that was.
Oh yeah, no, it was a crashing sound.
Especially
was
in a
a-
house where there's a basement underneath you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Just get
I'm,
that big echo.
and it's an empty basement too, so I am lucky that I did not just crash straight through the floor.
Yeah, I think you're hurting my feelings. Maureen and I were out with our two best friends way back in the day, Debbie and Rick, and driving around going to estate sales because we were young.
Sure.
And I was fat, and I had eaten all the food in Kirkwood, and I just silent but deadly just farted.
No.
Straight up in the car.
No.
And everyone reacted. And Debbie goes,
no.
"Go!" And I famously said, "You're hurting my feelings." She goes, "Hurting your feelings."
You're hurting my insides.
Smart Mouth, Rach?
Yeah, Smart Mouth is the ultimate solution to stopping and preventing bad breath for 24 hours with just 2 rinses a day. And the best part is you can either order Smart Mouth products online or you can go pick them up in store. In stores, they're at Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, Kroger, Rite Aid, but you can also buy on Amazon, speaking of Jeff Bezos, and save 20% on select Smart Mouth products. Just use the code GloverShow whenever you check out.
So it's always my job in these tandem Smart Mouth commercials to tell you about the specific kinds, and I'm going to highlight 2, as I always do, because they're my favorites. The mouth sore is fantastic. If you get canker sores or fever blisters or things like that, if I start getting a fever blister, I literally will pour the stuff onto a tissue and just hold it onto my lip, and they go away. It's like magic. And then the gum health. I have a little bit of gingivitis. The dentist hasn't been my friend over these years, so it's no replacement. It's no excuse, but it is a helper. You can find Smart Mouth pretty much everywhere you shop for groceries or convenience stuff. We can save you $2.50 off by going to smartmouth.com/Glover.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey, and between now and the end of the summer, chances are that you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell a home. And like me, you probably know a few realtors. Well, yeah, I know several as well, but when someone I know needs to sell their home, I always recommend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and here's why you should call, because no matter what the market does, Gloria Liu will guarantee up front and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference.
St. Louis home sellers, if you're looking for certainty and the most money guaranteed for the sale of your home, call me, Gloria Liu. My name is My Promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call me directly at 314-325-6888 or visit me online at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got sunshine. It's 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. The city of St. Louis is helping residents in need of tornado repairs find reliable contractors and architects for free. Let's go live in the newsroom. KMOX's Sean Malone is back from a news conference with the mayor. And Sean, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Michael, these new programs are privately funded and will bring free weatherization and electrical repairs to residents, helping reconnect them to the grid. It will also connect residents with architects to help them develop a rebuilding plan moving forward for their homes. The city has set up a page on their website where residents can apply for this program. So, naturally, I asked how long the turnaround time is. Here's Mayor Kara Spencer.
People should expect days at this point. And so, there has been a fairly quick turnaround. Once we got the program going, we don't anticipate having any hiccups or issues.
The city is also creating a database of reliable contractors for residents to vet to avoid being victims of a scam. Live in the newsroom, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Our top national story from CBS News. The U.S. Senate narrowly passed President Trump's tax cut and spending bill, but it faces another vote and hurdle in the U.S. House. Natalie Brandt has more from the White House.
The bill, which extends the 2017 Trump tax cuts and eliminates federal taxes on tips and overtime pay, increases money for defense and immigration enforcement, but it cuts Medicaid spending, and the Congressional Budget Office estimates it could increase the deficit by nearly $3.3 trillion. That's significantly more than the House version, threatening the support of conservative hardliners there. One group posting on social media, "That's not fiscal responsibility. That's not what we agreed to."
The new budget year starts today, and Missouri Governor Kehoe makes some key changes. Elisa Nelson has that story.
Governor Kehoe says the budget totals $50.8 billion, with nearly $511 million in vetoes, reductions, and spending holds. The governor has lowered the core funding increase for Missouri's public colleges and universities to 1.5%. He has also slashed funding for several K-12 education and infrastructure-related items. The governor has approved fully funding state aid to K-12 public schools, as well as $91 million for rural road upgrades.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker announces a running mate for his third term. Carolina Garibay has that.
Christian Mitchell will join the Democratic ticket as the candidate for Lieutenant Governor of Illinois. He is a former three-term state representative and currently serves as first lieutenant in the Illinois National Guard and as vice president of civic engagement at the University of Chicago. He also served as deputy governor for more than 4 years and led several efforts on core administration priorities, including clean energy and cannabis legalization. Mitchell is also a graduate of the University of Chicago and Loyola University of Chicago School of Law.
A United Express flight operated by a regional carrier made an emergency landing at Lambert Airport this morning. The GoJet Airlines flight to Chicago O'Hare had just taken off when, at 6:34 a.m., it turned around because of smoke detected in a lavatory. Passengers were put on different planes and arrived in Chicago in the noon hour. The KMOX business desk responding to criticism and insults from President Trump. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says if not for the tariffs, the Fed would have likely already lowered rates. Jason Brooks explains.
Speaking at a European Central Bank forum on monetary policy, Powell said that the central bank went on hold when it saw the size of the tariffs, and essentially all inflation forecasts for the U.S. went up substantially as a consequence of the tariffs. The Fed chair added that so long as the economy is in solid shape, the prudent thing to do is to wait and learn, adding that most Fed members expect to cut rates by the end of this year. When asked about whether President Trump's relentless attacks are making it more difficult to do his job, Powell said he's very focused on just doing his job.
The Dow from Stifel's up 428 points. Roadwork on 70 East at David Hochul Parkway, that's on the right shoulder. Roadwork 270 North at Gravois, that's got the right lane closed. Roadwork on 70 West at Jennings Station, that's got the right lane and shoulder closed. A disabled vehicle 270 northbound at Dorset on the right side.
A rare treat with our weather with a northwest flow. We don't see that much during the summertime. Lots of sunshine. Feel the difference out there. Less humid. It's comfortable. 87 for the high. That's just about where we should be, but the low humidity makes it delightful. And that's the cue for this evening. Spectacular. Clear skies. Nice. First quarter moon in the sky. 67 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 89. Heat and humidity will start to slowly build back on Thursday. 93 Thursday. 4th of July, it's sunny, it's hot, it's humid, nothing more than an isolated thunderstorm, and 95 on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. We've got sunshine and 85 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Our conversation with Ricky Horton is brought to you by Goodwill. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Time to talk to our pal Ricky Horton. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Dave. How are you today?
Good, buddy. You know what I was thinking about getting ready to talk to you? We both make our livings to some degree talking about baseball. And it's so interesting because I love steak, but I'm never going to be sitting at a bar and say to the guy next to me, hey, do you like ribeyes? You know what I mean? It's like, but it's just
that's good.
Baseball in the United States is just universal. You can typically start a conversation with just about anybody about it.
I did today at the golf course here in Pittsburgh. I was getting ready to play golf, and we got rained out, unfortunately, which I don't think the game's going to get rained out, but my golf did, so that's a sad story. But the guy, somehow we started talking about baseball, and oh my goodness, this guy and I became like fast friends. It didn't take very long. We knew people in common, and as we were watching it rain, it is kind of a universal language. And, you know, you can disagree. I mean, actually, we agreed on something. He doesn't like the Cubs either. So I mean, we had an instant bonding going on there at the golf course.
Now, speaking of baseball, yesterday I did this whole thing with Bernie Miklasz where I'm on my soapbox. And I'm like, you know, fans, don't let the angst of the baseball season ruin a good time. And then last night watching Fetty crash out, I was emotional.
Okay, so I actually was thinking about chatting with you guys today, and I was thinking, and because I've been mulling it over for myself, but I'm going to ask you guys a question, flipping the tables on you here.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most accurate amount of time to judge how a team is doing? Is it good to look at them over a week, over 2 weeks, over a month, longer? And what do you think is the most appropriate way to say, let's see how my team is doing? I don't know if just psychologically, but I think realistically, what's the best time frame? What do you guys think?
Wheels, let me go first because you'll have a much more intelligent decision or take on it. But for me, I would say a third of a season. Whether it's the first, the second, or the third, that you can look back over a third of the season and judge a pitcher, judge a hitter. That would be my input.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on what I'm trying to solve for.
See,
right?
I knew you'd do that.
Yeah.
So if I'm just trying to solve for general big picture view of a team, then I'd say we're at about a point where we have a pretty good idea. Like it can change better or worse, but we got a pretty good idea. Sum total, maybe some guys are going to go up, some guys are going to go down, but sum total, I think you have a pretty good idea right around this point. You know, I know the Claves likes Flag Day. I'm good with Memorial Day as a checkpoint, but I think it's the halfway point. But also for other, but I'm going to sort by other things too, right? Like when I'm looking at players, for example, it's going to be a mix.
Or let's say just trending now. I mean, how would you say? So we kind of know who the team is, but how are the Cardinals doing right now? What's a fair thing to say? I mean, it's not just yesterday. Is one of my points of this.
Right.
I mean, but it's also not 4 months ago. I mean, how are they doing now? It just seems like it's kind of somewhere in between, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say that I think the simplest window, like it's a guidepost, but it's not perfect, is like last 10 games. You know, if you look at the last 10 games, you can see like the Cardinals are 6-4. But that's pretty good.
You know what's fascinating about Ricky's question is, there's one answer intellectually.
Yeah.
The answer emotionally is it takes one at bat. And you get emotional over that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where you started this, Dave. And it is true that we get the angst over one at bat, maybe one pitch that the umpire calls wrong. And oh my goodness, we're ready to move to Europe or something. I mean, we just get all upset about it. But there's something, maybe more, and again, I don't want to say just realistically, maybe more healthy for us to say, let's look at it over 10 days. Or I kind of like to think 2 times through the rotation, which I guess is 10 days. 10 days to 2 weeks is kind of kind of know what's going on right now with them. You're not going to have just one good series. You're going to have to kind of prove it over a couple of weeks. I kind of like that time frame, I think.
So, Rick, I only understand pitching enough to know when someone is good or someone's getting rocked. You obviously can tell like that was a slider that didn't slide. What was Fetty's problem last night?
Location. Yeah. So it's the real estate answer. And Ollie Marmol talked about it after the game. He said every pitch was thigh high. And I kind of got into something at the end of the game, just talking about it with some folks that high is thigh high. If you're over the belt, we used to say, oh, that pitch is up. He's getting trouble because it's up. Well, that up is good. I mean, over the belt is good because they can't catch up to that kind of stuff. But if you're throwing the ball about thigh high, that's kind of the prime place to swing the bat and make contact and do some damage. So he was there all the time. I think his cutter was very flat. It just kind of sat there. So some of it was pitch execution, but I think pitch location was also part of it.
It's a fascinating thing, Rick, because we've talked about it. And look, he is not a strikeout guy. He's in fact one of the lowest strikeout percentages in baseball, and that goes along with a low swing and miss, right? So he's in the bottom 3 or 4% in baseball in both of those, which means what you're talking about is incredibly important. Like, you can't miss middle. You can't miss middle when you're 92, 93, and you don't miss bats, because those are the ones that, as we saw yesterday, they go a really long way. And what's really interesting about him, Ricky, and I don't know if you can see a difference having seen most of his starts, if not all of them, but it's either on or off. There seems to be almost no in between, where it's like 6 innings and 1 run, or it's 4 innings and 6 runs. It feels like it's just either or right now.
Yeah, you realize he gave up all of his hits in 2 different innings. He gave up 7 hits in 1 inning and 3 hits in the other, and none in the other 3, which it seems odd. So it is I think true of a guy that's a pitch to contact kind of guy that can happen. You just snowball bad, and then the other team starts to feel it. So here's what I would say. I think sometimes we overemphasize swing and miss, except when there's guys on base, I sure do want it.
Yeah.
So if it works, if you ground out on the first pitch, you fly out on the second pitch, it's like, they don't need to swing and miss. This is great. And then it's double, single. Now we need a strikeout. There's no place to go to get it. I think that's what his problem was yesterday.
Yeah, and the cutter was a much better pitch last year than it's been so far this year. The sinkers, I think, seemingly about the same effectiveness. The sweeper is as well, but the cutter was what he really fixed, I think, it was either that or the sweeper that he refined when he went overseas to give him something that looked different to left-handers.
I feel like the sweeper is his best pitch still, and I'm not sure he's using it as much. I mean, think about what Maton does, and I feel like when we first started seeing Fetty, he was just flipping that thing up from almost sidearm, and it was floating across the plate and people couldn't hit it. I feel like he's gone away from that a little bit, but he's going to get, he's going to break it down. He was pretty open after the game, and so was Ollie, that they've got to fix something with him, and they got to do it quickly.
So this is an extreme example, but I'm using it because you make a great point. His sweeper is still his best pitch, and it's really not. It doesn't matter if it's a righty or lefty. Like, it's a pitch that seems to have equal effectiveness. And he throws it a lot to lefties, too. More against righties, but he still throws it against lefties. So how hard is it to say, all right, I'm throwing that 25% of the time now. I'm going to make that 40%. That's going to be my primary pitch, and I'm going to back off on the others. And an example of a guy that pitches opposite, remember Trevor Hoffman used to, but Tommy Kahnle does that now, where he's like 85% changeups. His fastball's 95, but he's 85% changeups because his changeup's his best pitch.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Helsley could be in this conversation we're talking about too, because right now his best pitch is his slider, and in terms of effectiveness. And you'd think, well, wait a minute, the guy throws 200 miles an hour, but but his slider is what they can't hit. It's just like a disappearing, trick pitch that he throws. Kind of, it's this incredibly effective. So it's almost like you want him to throw it all the time. So obviously you have to have a mix somewhere, and I think to make that adjustment, I think, is something he's probably going to look at going forward. But, he's obviously got to try something different.
Rick, when you see a guy that can't stay out of the strike zone, it could be any number of things, but what are the top 2 or 3 things that, as a pitching coach, you would go, okay, we need to look at this, this, and this? Yeah,
so I think there's you always kind of have the mechanical conversation with it. I mean, it's is there something in your body that your arm is dragging, or you're out front, or you're too blocked off, or you're too open up, or you're falling off to first base or third base? Those are some mechanical corrections that you look at, and you can kind of tell those pretty quickly if somebody's kind of off kilter, and they can often feel that too. There's another thing though. There's sometimes it's kind of the want to. Like if you're struggling, the last thing you want to do is throw the ball over the plate because you're fearful. You got a little fear factor going on. You're like, oh boy, I'm gonna be backing up third base, and that's where this line that you hear all the time, trust your stuff, comes in, where you got to say, hey man, go after him. I mean, you don't pitch tentatively, because when you pitch tentatively, you kind of, first of all, don't throw strikes anyway, or if you do throw a strike, it's kind of a softer pitch and more hittable.
Yeah, and even minor changes, Ricky. I mean, you mentioned things can be mechanical. If you go look at Ryan Helsley and you look at his arm angle, and this is one of the wonderful things we can actually look up now. But it's actually quite a bit higher than it's been in past years. So his arm angle right now comes out at a 63-degree angle. And in 2021, 2022 was more like 54, 55. And then it kind of goes up to 58 and then up to 60. And now it's up to 63. I don't know that that's a direct answer, but that's the kind of thing you can look at. Is it coming out exactly the same way as it did before?
And it is amazing. Ollie likes to use the phrase, we're looking at him under the hood. I mean, and because there are so many details like you're talking about that might tell part of the story. If you're, for example, if you're throwing the ball straight over the top, it might not have the same kind of run to it. I mean, because it's just going to be maybe flatter. I mean, potentially. Now, it may have more hop to it, too. So the movement will vary based on your arm angle, which is why some pitchers like to vary their arm angle.
Yeah.
So one pitch will kind of break more in on a right-handed batter. One will stay truer. And if you switch those two things, you really have almost another pitch. Even it's the same pitch, but it reacts differently.
So last question, Rick. On the other end of things, we're going to be facing Skeens. When I see someone doing something that I'm pretty good at, but they're so much better than me, like I am fascinated by it. What do you see when you watch this guy?
I see a guy that has everything. He's got like this he's a big, strong dude that can throw forever. That's, physically, fit beyond what most pitchers in the big leagues are. He's also mentally incredibly tough. He's very prepared. His warm-up routine is beyond what anybody else does. And he's got a great number of pitches that he can throw wherever he wants to throw them at high velocities. I mean, he's got kind of the whole package. So I see a guy that's kind of got the whole deal right now. The Cardinals somehow have beaten him 4 times. I don't know how. I mean, basically, the way you beat him is you don't let his team score any runs.
Right.
That's kind of what Palante's job is. But I do marvel when I see a guy that is just so good and so young. And honestly, I'm a fan of baseball. I'm a fan of great athletes, so I love to see that. Not rooting for him, but I can still enjoy watching him pitch.
All right, buddy. Have a great game, Rick.
All right, thanks, guys.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
So I'm going to say something kind of weird here during my live endorsement for Michael's Baths, and that is get a quote from our competition. If you want to just reach out to Mike out of loyalty to me and the show, that's great. But if you want to really appreciate how inexpensive Mike is, have Bath Fitter come out to the house. Have 3-Day Kitchen and Bath come out to the house. Get a bid. Don't fall for it. Not that they're bad people at all. But don't just jump on it until you get a bid from Mike. Now, if I'm lying to you and Mike is more than them or the same price, then you've got a decision to make. And please let me know about that so I can let Mike know. But I think it's going to be 30 to 50% less expensive. Then it's on Mike to show you how it's going to be the same products, the same labor, or better, because he needs to be better and cheaper to get your business. Hopefully you will give him a shot because he is local. He's family owned and operated. He keeps about 20 families employed doing all of his work. Great guy, completely vouch for him. If you're interested in a bath remodel, call 636-775-0800 or just log on to michaelsbaths.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
If you're a small business owner looking to improve or expand your business, you're probably faced with choices. Things like more inventory or paying bills or taxes, and tariffs that have you in a cash crunch. Choosing can be hard when you need them all for a clear path to success. At LendSeek, we don't think you should have to choose between the things you need to grow and improve your business. At lendseek.com, you'll find our exclusive AI-based lending marketplace where you can access up to $1 million in business funding with minimal paperwork, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how the funds are put to work. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with annual revenue of at least $500,000, our online AI-enabled platform can connect your business to over 100 funders with funding in as fast as 24 hours. Whether you own a local retail shop, contracting company, online business, or professional services, we've got you covered. Apply today with no cost and no obligations at lendseek.com. LENDSEEK.com.
Celebrate Independence Day with a free concert by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. July 2nd, 7 p.m. at Logan University in Chesterfield, showcasing patriotic music and more. Get free tickets at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Let's tune out the noise a little bit and focus on a retirement plan. If you don't have one or don't know how to get started, find us on our website at SachsFinancial.com or retiresafestl.com.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Welcome back, DG. Want to give credit where credit's due. Rach is doing the music today, and you're killing it.
Thanks, Dave.
Our boss, Steve, said, remember, you're going after 45-year-olds, play 45-year-old music. And I'm like Queen and the Beatles. And
Hey, I'm not far off that demo, and I still like all that stuff. I'm only 6 years off that. 7
that's
years
way
off
too
that.
far.
You don't like any of that stuff.
What?
Queen,
Classic
the
rock?
Beatles.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding him?
I wasn't, but
We've
apparently
sat here and talked about it over and over that Queen's The Game was the first record I ever got in my life.
He told you.
When was the last time you listened to it and not something far more insane?
I've listened.
Let me just welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Let me tell the audience, just welcome to lunch every day.
Yeah. Every in the office for sure. So I would say the last time I listened to Queen, like kind of continuous playlist, was probably a month or two ago.
Yeah, month.
But I mean, he's not
the
wrong.
bumper music for this show does not count.
No, I'm talking about like laying around. Sometimes I just get in the mood, but mostly it's like lately it's harder edge stuff.
Hey, can I talk about a victory that Baby Man Dave had?
Baby Man Dave.
Yes. So Nick bought me a turntable for my birthday, I think, last year.
That's nice.
And it's electronic, and there's some sort of a plug-in that somehow just was lost, and it wouldn't work. So I figured out what the plug-in was, and I bought it, and I put it on, and it worked.
David.
Excellent.
Tell me about it. This is a giant victory for me.
One Small step for man.
This is like 2 minutes out of a real man's day. But for me, it was an odyssey.
Nice. Do you have many records to listen to?
I have probably a dozen. Yeah.
Are you in the class of musical folks that think it sounds better on vinyl than it does like a digital?
So it's not like a super killer sound system or anything.
Okay.
So it's not going to sound.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
But I'm not I'm not an audiophile.
Right.
Like when I go to the sound room and they play stuff, I'm like, holy crap! Like it's amazing to me. You know who is an audiophile is Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, John is big on that stuff.
Yep, big techie too.
Big techie.
Yep.
Yeah. That just sounded funny. Big techie.
Techie Rooney.
Big
That's
techie. Big
That's what they
techie.
call him. Big Techie Rooney.
That's all I had.
Well, I'm proud of you, David. That's neat.
David.
That's very nice.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks. I will take the accolades.
That's a
It is
victory.
not easy. Life is not easy for Dave. And where the hell did that cord go? Who took a cord?
Great question.
Mm-hmm. Was it like a second-hand turnable?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why'd you say it like that?
That'd be funny to say it like that.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys hear in the
I thought I
meeting
missed a
earlier
joke.
where Andrew said male and female
Yeah,
to
the
be
boss
funny?
didn't clock it.
And Steve was like, male and male? What are you talking about?
Steve did not catch it at
He
all.
did not clock it.
And then I had to walk it back and go, oh, no, I meant male. I'm sorry, I meant male and female.
That was fun for me.
Yeah, Steve was
That a good
he was just telling us how we can't be too inside baseball. Right. And he makes an inside joke.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
I would just like to say you guys are awesome. I've just been turned on to this since it's been on 104.1 at the FM dial, and I think you guys make me laugh, and you're informative. I just love you guys' show. You guys are amazing.
The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays at 9 on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 and schedule a custom income review at no charge, or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Let's check in with Dave Murray's forecast, which is sponsored by Siding Express and sidingexpress.com.
A rare treat with our weather with a northwest flow. We don't see that much during the summertime. Lots of sunshine. Feel the difference out there. Less humid. It's comfortable. 87 for the high. That's just about where we should be, but the low humidity makes it delightful. And that's the cue for this evening. Spectacular. Clear skies. Nice. First quarter moon in the sky. 67 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 89. Heat and humidity will start to slowly build back on Thursday. 93 Thursday. 4th of July, it's sunny, it's hot, it's humid, nothing more than an isolated thunderstorm, and 95 on Friday. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com.
Let me tell you guys about Neovitin. Neovitin is for my money, and I do spend my own money on it, the best multivitamin that you can get. I love it because it's reasonable. I always tell the story when I was in college and I was really into weightlifting, and I was taking these really expensive mega packs from this, supplement store, and the team doctor, they did some blood work on me or urine test, and he thought I was using some sort of, performance enhancing drugs because everything was elevated. And he told me, you can shut your organs down by doing this, by spending too much time taking all these vitamins. If you have high cholesterol like I do, your doctor's probably told you need to get more omega-3 fish oils. We have that, but the Neovitin capsules do not taste the least bit fishy. So everything you need, nothing that you don't. You can find it locally at Schnucks or online at neovitin.com.
If you need to sell your home to buy a new home, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty on your side, fighting for every dollar for you. Check out thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler for Game Day Men's Health. You can find them at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. And I can tell you my story. My story is pretty simple. As most guys do when you're getting into your 50s, you're noticing differences. You're not, you're not 100% all the time, right? I would describe it as I felt like my legs were heavy, like every day. You finish a workout and everything feels heavy. And ever since I've been with Game Day Men's Health, I don't feel that way. I feel the same way that I did 10, 12, 15 years ago. And I notice the difference every single day. My treatment is testosterone replacement therapy. When I went in for my initial consultation, we did the blood test and everything. He's like, look, your numbers are low. This is going to make you feel back to what you want to feel like. It's just going to be, this is the process. But that may not be for you. You might have other things in mind. Maybe ED treatments. Maybe you're looking at medical weight loss. They have peptides too. So a lot of different ways for you to get back to the top of your game. Everything there is overseen by board-certified physicians. The entire staff they're experts. This is what they do. They are experts in men's health. They know how to get you where you want to get. And everything comes with one price explained up front. Could not be any easier. Any adjustments, consultations, whatever that come along in the process, that's all included in what you're going to be shown right up front. So there's 3 area locations. I go to Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com so you can get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates, Ameren Total Access 445, Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 234. Brian M's joined us. Brian M., you need to go listen to the first part of the show. I started the show off talking about you. And Brian M. asked Rachel, how is the corn, rice, and steak? Wrong order, but...
Steak. Corn.
Rice.
It was so good. I was eating so slowly because I didn't want the meal to end. It was delicious.
Nice.
Yum. I want more, but you can't eat steak every day. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Be nice, though, wouldn't it?
It would be pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Give me a second.
You're good. Take your time.
Boo.
Hey! So, Wheels, you had a take on the Grove incidents over the weekend?
So, just more of a question, right? So, we know that there was the big brawl. We know that a police officer was injured. There weren't enough police officers there to keep everything under control. And again, not to blame anybody, not blaming police officers. There's not enough of them, and it's not their fault that there aren't enough of them. But, this started getting me thinking about, do you guys remember the videos from last 4th of July? In downtown St. Louis, where you had bands of people shooting fireworks at each other. Mm-hmm. And this was after the real fireworks. So there's people that had come in from outside the city to come in for the fireworks show. and they're having to like dodge and navigate these battles that are going on in the streets. And that also, by the way, included some gunfire too. And I'm thinking, well, if we can't control this on a normal day, right? Just, obviously it was Pride Fest, Pride Weekend, but it was still like a normal-ish night in terms of crowds. If we can't manage that, what are our plans for the 4th of July? I mean, it's just a few days away. Is it going to be like last year where it's chaos again? Is there a plan in place? And I'm just curious, too, have you guys heard any kind of, we're going to make a plan to handle these kinds of things in the future, whether it's Keener Plaza or the Grove or what's coming off the fireworks on the 4th of July? Because I don't know that there is I don't know if there is a good plan. Maybe there isn't. But I would like to hear an attempt at one.
Yeah.
And I would like to know if there are plans in place for this coming weekend.
I agree
that
with
people
you.
could be like, hey, we know this isn't going to be crazy because
I think if they expect a single person to come downtown for this, I'm so mad at the fair. It used to be so great, and you would have great musical acts, and now it just seems like yawn. But Kara Spencer and Chief Tracy need to get out there in front of it and say, hey, come on down to the fair because it's going to be safe, and here's why and how. If they expect anyone to come down, that's what they need to do.
So a couple weeks ago on my show, I talked to Tim Mears with Celebrate St. Louis. Just, what's going to go on this year. And I did ask about the security issue because this is obviously something that's on people's mind, especially if you don't. Like, for me, if I were to go down to Celebrate St. Louis, I'm not going to be nervous because I'm in downtown St. Louis every day. I know how to handle myself. But a lot of people, this is like one of the few times they come down. And he had said, they had hired some private security. They are coordinating with St. Louis police to cover these areas where people are going to be congregating. Obviously, you can't make a guarantee on the entire downtown area, but as far as the arts grounds, the concerts, stuff like that, they're going to have very tight security. So something to just keep in mind if you are considering coming down for the fireworks.
Did he mention the crap music?
He did not call it crap, no.
I mean, when Gavin DeGraw is your headliner, right?
I mean,
I don't want to be anything other than what I've been trying to be lately.
People like him, I think.
Yeah, it's Celebrate St. Louis. Used to be VP Fair. Used to be Fair St. Louis.
Yeah, it's definitely not to the quality that it used to be.
No.
Well, it can't be the VP Fair anymore. People don't want it to be the VP
No,
Fair
but it
anymore.
used to be a big deal.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Why is it not?
I think we just said the main reason.
Hard to get people to come
Safety.
down.
Well, there's also a lot of other things to do in the St. Louis area, too. I'm assuming back in, like, the 60s and the 70s, it was kind of like downtown St. Louis fireworks were the place to be. And now there are more options, so it's not like you're going to have the same number of people
And good
descending on
shows,
downtown.
too, right? Whether it's St. Charles or Kirkwood or whatever, every municipality has good shows.
Hell, we have a great one in our neighborhood.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, it doesn't help when all of last 4th of July weekend, what's circulating on social media are videos of what, like, we know it's not a war zone because it's fireworks mostly with some guns mixed in. But, I mean, it was ridiculous. There were people, like, literally running and ducking behind cars.
Not only am I a fan of downtown St. Louis, my career is kind of tied to it.
Yeah.
I mean, KMOX's the voice of St. Louis, and I'm downtown. I've been downtown since 1990. I hope people come down. I don't blame anyone who doesn't. I get it.
Yeah.
You see videos like that, and you're like, yeah, let's take the kids.
But when we talk, when did we talk? We were talking about this with the Cardinals. Oh, yeah. When we were talking about it regarding the Cardinals, it's not as big a thing. The Cardinals actually pick up the bill to have extra security, more than what would normally be in place on a home game day, home game night. Well, I mean, for the Cardinals are a great, successful sports franchise. They can do that. What about everything that's not that, or the Blues, or City, for that matter? Like, do we not have to have it at least somewhat reasonably locked down so that you can't have people just running loose? Again, with fireworks battles and donuts in the intersections and fights at Keener Plaza and all that.
It's really changed. When I was Rachel's age, what people worried about was like a stick up, like an old fashioned put a gun in
Somebody's
your
gonna
face,
rob you,
give me your money. I don't worry. I mean, I don't worry about that. Now it's just like giant groups of young people getting crazy, and crazy can include gunfire. You know, it's not. I don't think this is like the old days, like the 50s, where it's like these whippersnappers and their motorcycles. You know, it's dangerous. It's really, truly dangerous. So,
I'm just wondering if anybody had heard anything.
No,
because I hadn't heard. Again, maybe the answer is we don't have a good plan because we don't have the tools we need. But then the message about not having the tools we need should be out there. There should be ways to plan for significant events and weekends, so that they can't be dominated by a couple hundred jerks that want to just cause trouble.
Yeah. Rach, what's a Luckin?
Luckin is a name we should all get to know because they have overtaken Starbucks in China as far as the most popular coffee shop. They started in like 2017, I think, 2017 or 2019. So either way, not very long ago. They have similar offerings as Starbucks, and they're a little bit more affordable, and they are opening their first stores here in the United States. So I'm wondering if this is going to spread like wildfire the way, you know, like in the past couple of years, Dunkin' has turned into like a iced coffee hub. Here locally, we have like 7 Brew Coffee. People like Breadco, Panera, whatever, they've kind of risen up to compete with Starbucks, but this is one store that's actually done quite well in China, now expanding to the U.S. So just remember that name. I'm sure you will see it around here soon.
And the top films of the 21st century?
Yeah, the New York Times did the top 100 films of the 21st century. I don't have a New York Times subscription anymore, so I couldn't see the full list, but I do have the top 10 for you guys if you're interested. Number 10, The Social Network. Wheels is not a fan. I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fine. It's not a top 10 movie in the last 25 years.
What's better?
Literally everything.
Okay.
He's being reasonable, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ask a blatantly open-ended question where I have to list 35 things.
I was just asking for one.
Number 9 is Spirited Away.
What's that?
Great movie.
It's a Miyazaki film. Came out in like 2004. I think won a bunch of Academy Awards.
I think it was 2001, and it totally took over the Oscars that year. Won a bunch of Oscars.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Number 8 is Get Out. Jordan Peele. Number 7, Eternal.
Oh man, I wish you could see the face Peele just made.
The movie's fine. Like, it's fine, but it's not. It's the 8th best movie in the last 25 years.
That's what the New York Times is saying.
I mean, again, it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I didn't walk out of it going, that was a moving experience.
What's a better movie? Wheels has Googled good movies.
No, I'm just like...
I'm looking at his list of movies on Google.
I mean, all right.
Number 7 is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I have a confession. I have never finished this movie.
Never seen it.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about that one.
Number 6, No Country for Old Men.
Okay. Great one.
Deserves it.
Probably a little high, but it's good.
Love it.
Number 5, still haven't gotten around to seeing this one for some reason. Moonlight, which I know won Best Picture.
That's in the last 25 years?
Moonlight? Yeah. That
not
one.
Moonstruck.
Not Moonstruck.
I was like, what sort of portal have I entered?
What's Moonlight?
It's a story of like a young man who discovers his sexuality.
Oh.
Number
right
4,
up your alley.
Yeah. I love all those emotional ones.
Number 4, In the Mood for Love. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what this film is.
This
I've never heard of it.
Sucks.
I have heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
Number 3, There Will Be Blood.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Great movie. Number 2, Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, Donald Trump's favorite, Parasite. Remember whenever Parasite won Best Picture and he was like, whatever happened to Gone with the Wind? This movie, he was so mad that won Best Picture and it made no sense. But they're calling it the number 1 film of the 21st century.
Now I really want to see the rest of the list.
I know. I wanted to see it too, but I was like, I'm not about to re-up my subscription just for this.
Yeah. You going to be okay?
What's that?
You going to be okay?
Yeah, fine.
All right. Tell you guys about Mosby Building Arts. Everyone knows Mr. Mosby. He's iconic. Did a weekend show here on KMOX forever. His guys still do the show on the weekends, and they really are sort of the gold standard for building. And they do kind of everything, but they're really focusing this campaign on their outdoor stuff. So you think about, like, I'm going to be going to Florida in about a month. and I'm going to go to some outdoor restaurants, and they're going to have kick-ass patios, and may even visit a friend down there, and I'm very likely to see something that I covet and something that I want to bring home to my home. No one does that better than Mosby Building Arts. So you can have a photograph, you can have a schematic, you can have a napkin that you draw it out on. Whatever it is, we will work with you to make that a reality. You can have complete trust in their expertise. It is a premium experience. You're never, ever going to have to worry about, they said they're going to be here Tuesday at 8, and it's Thursday at 10, and never going to happen with Mosby Building Arts. Give them a call, 314-909-1800 or mosbybuildingarts.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
2 legendary bands. 1 epic night. Collective Soul and Live are bringing the rock to St. Louis. Catch their summer unity tour at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater July 17th with special guest Greenland James Rue. Don't miss your chance to hear such hits as Shine, December, I Alone, and All Over You. Collective Soul and Live. Tickets can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Welcome back, DG Ask 104.1 FM KMOX. The Departed was during that era.
Come on!
That's one of my
telling
favorite
you this
movies.
list sucks.
Finding Nemo. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Do I need to keep going here?
I mean, I made the case to you guys during the break, but like Lord of the Rings Return of the King was 2009. It got 95% positive from critics and 90+% from people who saw it. So the critics are the, quote, artsy side, right? They're grading the cinematography and all that. So if everybody involved looks at that movie and goes, that's an A+, how is it not a top 10 movie?
I love him.
I'm just sorry. It's just it's pissing me off.
Speaking of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants,
yes,
I read all of those books as a teen. Loved them. Don't know if I would go back and revisit.
Well, you were a teen.
Don't know if it fits the vibe now. If the DGS had an item of clothing we would all share as if it was the Traveling Pants, what do you think it would be?
It's got to be a hat.
Wig.
A wig. The radio show of the Traveling Wig.
What if it's a hat wig?
Yeah, it's like one of those Guy Fieri visors with the spikes sticking up.
It's a hat that just has a little bit of hair coming out the bottom of it.
Or the mullet one. Yeah, the mullet hat. It'd have to be hat, right?
I mean, the pants fit girls of all different shapes and sizes. That was the magic of the Traveling Pants.
So they're magic.
Yeah.
I get
it. Okay, I was going to say, I got some bad
because Andrew and I over here going,
I got some bad news about my waist.
Like, you guys are not wearing the same things we are.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, all the girls had a different body type, but they went to the thrift store together, and they found these pants, and they were like, I love these. I'm going to try them on. Now you try them on. Now you. They'll never fit me. And they fit them all.
Oh, man. So they're magic pants.
They were magic pants.
You guys, the two of you guys would just be wearing really big pants with a belt. Because we're not fitting in your pants.
It'd be fun to try.
I'm not fitting in any of those shirts either.
Remember when Mark Close put on Trish Gazzelle's pants?
I try not to think about it.
All do.
How?
She was wearing like yoga pants.
Oh, okay,
and he
stretchy.
put them on, and it was disturbingly.
He kept shaking his butt.
I know. And he has no butt. His butt is like two grade A large eggs next to each other.
Oh, man. That's great.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that does sound funny.
And then and Trish just sat there with no pants on.
She was wearing a Snuggie.
She had a Snuggie.
She was like covered up.
Yeah.
What's a Snuggie?
What? You've never heard of a Snuggie?
I don't think so.
The wearable blanket?
Careful, he can think of 500 articles of clothing better than that.
I probably could.
So stupid.
The old,
Wheels, were you in a coma in like 2014? The Snuggie was like the biggest thing on the planet.
I might have been.
It was a blanket with sleeves that you could
Yeah,
just
it
wear
was
around.
like a joke.
How does that hit
But
you?
then people wore it unironically, and then everybody loved it
so
unironically.
like if they wear it out of the house?
No.
I mean, no,
If
but
you're
Trish
Trish.
was...
Oh, but it's a cold studio, though, right? It's a cold
Yeah, she would
studio.
wear
I
it in the
gotcha. I
studio.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And out of the
I
studio.
mean, I guess. It seems a lot, but.
Like a lot of what?
Oh, I just wrap a blanket around you. Why do I need
But
sleeves?
this has your arms free to
Yeah.
get snacks and such.
All right. In theory, it's probably cool.
We're revisiting that lack of whimsy today, aren't we?
No, I never saw
Never
one.
even heard of a Snuggie.
I mean, I may have, but that was 11 years ago.
What do you recycle every 11 years?
I'm just saying, I haven't. I'm sure I heard of it when it was a thing.
Whoa, I have a kid.
I never saw one.
I have a kid. How old is she?
Yeah, I missed out on that phenomenon.
Boy, think of all the things he's doesn't know anything about.
I know. I'm trying
I'm
to think
sure
of...
there's a lot.
You could
I
have
mean, he-
bought a Snuggie, brought it in, told him you made it.
Yeah.
I knitted this for you, Wheels.
I'd have been like, damn, good job. That's pretty great.
But he knows what a labubu is.
Well, only because of you guys.
I think did I know the boo-boos first?
You might have.
You brought them up
You
first.
brought them up, yeah.
I had just learned about them like a week ago when people were like, this is crazy. There's a line around the block for Labubu. And I go,
You didn't know about Pop Mart.
what the hell is
I can tell you
Labubu?
this for a fact. If I did not work with you guys, I would not know what a Labubu is.
I almost went to a Pop Mart in Chicago.
Yeah.
But there was like a big line to get in. And I was like,
Because
no
all the
way am I
Labubu's.
no way am I doing that for some Labubus.
What's a Pop Mart?
I still don't really know.
It's like a kiosk that you buy Labubu's out of.
So it's a Labubu store.
It's a Labubu's
I
house.
agree with Andrew. The way Dave says labubu.
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 I really.
It's really good.
It's very tactily pleasing.
Will you say it again?
Labubu.
Labubu.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman. From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM, your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After proving the doctors wrong following my accident, I got back to baseball, started kicking field goals, then finally got paid as a pro kicker and ultimately became a leader in the marketing world. That's why I trust Renner Garage Door, exceeding expectations for over 65 years. They service, sell, and install top brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster. Get your free quote today. Check them out at RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, this hour's news is sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. We've got a sunny sky. It's 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill has passed the Senate, with Vice President Vance casting the tie-breaking vote. After the vote, Republican Kentucky Senator Rand Paul spoke with reporters about why he voted against the package.
The bill includes over $500 billion in new spending, and at the end, to get the vote of the Alaska Senator, billions and billions and billions more were added.
Missouri's new state budget year has begun, and Governor Kehoe pumps the brakes on nearly $511 million in the legislature's budget recommendations. The governor's vetoed reduced or frozen funding for several K-12 education and infrastructure-related items, as well as pet projects proposed.
Compared to the budget I presented in January, we received approximately 450 items and nearly $775 million in additional spending. And ongoing spending authorized in the budget presented to our office is projected to outpace ongoing revenues by over $1 billion.
Kehoe signs off on fully funding state aid to K-12 schools, $107 million in additional child care funding, and up to 10% pay raises for longtime state workers. Need to make repairs to your home after May's tornado and you don't know where to start? New programs from the city of St. Louis could help, and KMOX's Sean Malone is here to tell us about them.
Michael, the new programs can help connect residents with free weatherization repairs and electrical repairs to help reconnect them to the grid. And if your home is in need of more complicated repairs, Mayor Kara Spencer suggests residents sign up for the new Ask an Architect program.
Working with the AIA, the American Institute of Architects, the St. Louis local chapter here, to launch a drop-in free consultation program at City Hall.
Spencer says the city has also launched a database of reputable licensed and insured contractors they have vetted to help residents avoid falling for scammers. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Mark and Patricia McCloskey could get their guns back. They turned in the firearms after pleading guilty to pointing them at protesters outside their Central West End home in 2020. After Governor Parson pardoned them, they petitioned to get the guns back. A judge said no at the time. How come? KMOX legal analyst Brad Young.
The court analyzed in a very academic-like opinion, analyzed the idea that even though the McCloskey's convictions were overturned, that did not technically remove their guilt.
But today, an appeals court ruled that Mark McCloskey's criminal record can be expunged. If that happens, Young says that does change the calculus on getting the guns back. Madison County Sheriff Jeff Connor says after 35 years, investigators can now share an ID on a woman's body that was found decomposing near Troy on July 20th, 1990. The woman is Wendy Nadine Michael. She was 30 at the time.
We just want to focus on Wendy. Right now, our goal is to focus on Wendy, to highlight Wendy now that we know who she is, and we really want to get this information out to the public.
He's asking anybody with information on Wendy Nadine Michael's death to step forward. The St. Louis region would have suffered a big loss in population in recent years without two groups.
Both the Asian and the Hispanic population have shown significant growth in the region since 2020.
St. Louis University demography professor Ness Sandoval tells KMOX based on what he's seen, he anticipates the two groups will make up the majority of growth in St. Louis over the next 2 decades. Sandoval adds that does offset overall losses in white and black populations region-wide. It's time for an update of the St. Louis Business Index now. Here's Stifel's Scott Bedell. Scott.
Good afternoon, Michael. Hello, everyone. Just a handful of Dow stocks propelled that index sharply higher, while the other major markets struggled throughout the day. At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped 400 points, or 0.9% to 44,495. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index down 0.1% at 6,198, while the NASDAQ Composite Index sank 0.8% to 20,202. Closer to home, the Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index had a good day, gaining 1.25% at 1,601. Helping that index to move higher, Centene gained 4.33% at $56.65. Stifel Financial added 1.4% at $105.26. Caleres jumped a little more than 8% at $13.21. On the downside, ESCO Technology down 0.6% to $190.72, while Peabody Energy slid 1.8%. They closed at $13.18. This has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to visit our website at stifel.com.
We've got a crash on 270 going south at Tesson Ferry on the right side. Emergency vehicles there as well. Stalled vehicle 70 west at Route K. That's on the right shoulder. Road work on 6440 west at Kings Highway. That's got the middle lane closed. And a crash on 6440 west at Hampton. That's got the right 2 lanes closed there.
What a beautiful afternoon around town. Lots of sunshine, less humid. It's comfortable with a northwest flow. A rare northwest flow this time of year. 87 for the high. Tonight, clear skies. A quick drop through the 80s for evening plans. Check out the first quarter moon in the sky. Nice night. Low humidity, 67 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny and 89. Clear skies, 69 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny, 93 in the afternoon. The heat and humidity will start to build back Thursday afternoon. Friday for the 4th, sunny, hot, and humid. Maybe a spot or an isolated thunderstorm. Odds are really low. 95 on Friday. Right now, Friday evening, looking fine. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Terrace Senior Living of Eureka. We've got sunshine. It's 85. Feels like 88 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Gorgeous day out there, 307. Sandra says, will you guys be doing anything at the Wildie again? We absolutely will, Sandra. I think this year we're going to be on this side of the river, and that should be coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to be a big one. DGS 25, the celebration of 25 years of the DGS. The band's going to be playing. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Probably the best one that we've done. And then in the spring we'll be back at the Wilding. That's my plan.
Awesome.
We need to pay more attention to the East Side.
I agree.
It's half the audience. 3/4 of the DGS are from there, but we just don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just in general in St. Louis, we just kind of ignore the East Side, which is really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
East Side is awesome. East Side.
We should do something at the amphitheater. That'd be fun. Dalton Amphitheater.
I was like, which one?
It's nice.
They have an East Side amphitheater.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, yes, they do.
There should be more than one,
That's
right?
where Andrew saw Smash Mouth.
It is. And I saw you guys there one time.
At the barbecue festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
With
got to
Smash
hang out.
Mouth?
Yep.
Yes. Did we play, or were you just doing an appearance?
We were just doing an appearance, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
It was
I remember that.
I don't remember exactly.
It was
Super,
like a
Super Jam play.
It was like a barbecue festival
Yeah.
type thing. And
Yeah.
You guys had an appearance there.
Yeah, and your parents came.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's hear from all the East Siders on the stream there. South Roxana, Grafton, Alton.
Mm-hmm.
You draw a triangle there, and you've got something.
You really do.
You've got the East Side Triangle, man.
We should figure out exactly what's in the center and then
I like it.
do a show there.
I like it.
Just at some guy's house in the yard.
Let's see, Hartford, Grafton.
I think it'd be like in the middle of the river. It might actually even be on this side of the river. It might be like West Alton.
Razor's Edge?
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of things here. First, I want to talk about a part of the big, beautiful bill that just got removed. The Senate voted to remove a ban on state AI laws from the big, beautiful bill. The House had originally proposed a 10-year moratorium on state AI regulations, but luckily, in my opinion, many felt that it was too broad. They were worried about child online safety. So you might ask yourself, as I did, why on earth would you want to put a ban on state AI regulations? Who does that serve? But I always like to hear people out. I don't want to be like, it's because the Republicans are evil. Like, no, there's probably like a different reason behind it. And it was basically came from the concern that there would be a patchwork network of AI laws that would make it difficult for us to compete with China and other countries when it comes to AI. Which I understand where people are coming from with that. But then it begs the question of like, okay, well, if we can't do state laws about AI, or you don't want a bunch of different state laws governing AI, then the federal government should step in and come up with some sort of legislation to regulate AI. Because what we can't do, I think what we can all agree, we can't just let these AI companies make their own rules. That's not good for us.
Because even they, I know Altman went to Congress and said, we need regulated.
Yeah.
I mean, even they're saying this is the Wild West.
Yeah, so at least they were able to remove that from the big, beautiful bill that there's at least not a ban on making state laws about AI for the next decade. So that is encouraging. But what I would like to see next is let's regulate AI now. Let's figure some stuff out. And I'm not the person to do it. I don't understand this technology. I realize the vast majority of people in Congress don't.
99.9.
But what they need to do is get with consultants who understand what's going on, and they need to protect the American people. And I talk about AI so much on the show, I feel like maybe some listeners have the impression that I'm like totally against AI or I think it's evil or something. I don't. I just see the potential pitfalls that are there. Let's just get this together while we still can.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I was reading comments about this online recently, and I just like to see what people are saying. The point was brought up, which was comforting to me. That was like, look, it's not like we have to regulate AI, quote unquote, while we still can. We should, Wheels makes this point, we should always be able to do something about this if it gets to a place that we don't like. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's code, it's ones and zeros. You should be able to go in and delete things. So that is comforting. I tend to get in this mode of like, it's going to turn into the Terminator and we're going to have no way to stop it.
I'm more in that mode. Like, yes, it's ones and zeros until it's not. And that's what's different about this than any other thing we've ever done in history is that we have always been in control of the technology. But as I understand it, and I'm certainly no expert, when it reaches the singularity and has a mind of its own, it would have agency to change things. So it would be able to get rid of, for example, firewalls. And now, again, a lot of this is sci-fi, but I think we're kind of living in a sci-fi world right now.
Yeah, I end up being skeptical about this stuff because who are the people that don't want regulation? Typically, they're the people that are doing the work.
Yeah, people
right?
who are selling it.
Well, these are companies that have a lot of money, and just call me skeptical. That it's shocking that people who have money and make political donations get their way. I mean, there's no excuse to not be on the front end of it, at least just having a framework that says these are the penalties if you use AI for this purpose or that purpose or another. We can get started on those things. You don't have to have it all-encompassing, all-inclusive policy from the get-go.
Yeah.
But you put something in place that can serve as the space holder and that can cover things that we know right now can be issues, like deep fake pornography stuff. Like all kinds of things we know now shouldn't be there. And we can work on regulating those things and saying, if you do this, or if your tool is used for this purpose, then you suffer these consequences.
Man, I'll take it one step further. How about you don't get to use a person's likeness without their consent?
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be porn.
Period.
Doesn't have to
No.
be anything illegal. You don't get to make AI Rachel Zimmerman do anything without my express written
Yes.
consent. I think that is beyond reasonable. And anyone who wants to argue against that, I kind of question where your intentions lie at that point.
Yeah, whether it's something sexual and disturbing or it's just, hey, come on down to Piggly Wiggly,
Right.
Rachel Zimmerman's favorite barbecue place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's take a hard left turn. Here are the 10 discontinued McDonald's menu items that fans wish would come back. I'm full of top 10 lists today.
Okay.
Number 10, the McPizza. Does anyone remember the McPizza?
I do not.
Mm-mm.
What about you, Wheels?
I do, but I don't remember ever getting it.
It is a discontinued menu item. It launched in the mid-'80s, and it was a family-sized pizza that was brought out to the table by an employee and placed on a raised rack in the center of the table. It was then scaled down to a personal-sized pizza.
That's Pizza Hut style.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what they thought they were doing.
I know. They were wilding out with the McPizza. I don't necessarily need them to bring that back. Apparently, the hot mustard is discontinued. I feel like I just got hot mustard very recently at
That would
McDonald's.
be that would
Is
be
that
too
an
bad.
entree or is that a sauce?
It's a sauce.
Okay.
the hot mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they get McPizza.
And for the lady,
Yeah.
the hot mustard.
She'll be having the hot mustard.
I will be having the family-sized McPizza. The cinnamon melts. Does anyone remember this?
I don't.
Must have been a breakfast thing. You know what? Maybe I do.
Yeah.
For like they were around for like not that long.
You're right, Andrew. They were a breakfast pastry item. There was lots of fan disappointment whenever these were taken away. Apparently, they were logistically difficult to produce, and they didn't sell enough to justify, continuing them in McDonald's stores. The grilled chicken sandwich comes in at number 7. I remember in like the mid-aughts, there were a ton of chicken sandwich options, and a lot of them were grilled. I never got them, but it was nice knowing they were there.
I've never enjoyed a McDonald's grilled chicken.
No, it's fine in the wraps.
Yeah.
If you get it
Yeah,
like
the
in the
wraps
wraps
are
that
good.
way. Burger King used to have a great grilled chicken sandwich, and I don't know. I don't know if they still do or not, but if they did, they changed it.
I recently got the Burger King oblong chicken sandwich.
Yeah,
the one
the
from
old
our
school.
youth.
Yeah, the chicken parm, or
It's
did you get the other one?
changed. It's changed.
not
Yeah,
the same.
if you get some honey mustard to dip it in, it's okay.
Is that an entree?
the hot honey mustard, but it's not that. It's different. No, it's definitely different.
We've got another sauce on the list, the Szechuan sauce.
Okay, that one I know.
Number 5 is one that I was quite fond of, but I had forgotten about until I saw this list, and that is the fruit and yogurt parfait. Oh my gosh, it was a delight, an absolute delight to get that from McDonald's. Number 4 is the McDLT.
Loved it.
Keep the cold side cold, the hot side hot.
Number 3, the spicy chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, I liked those. I liked those a lot.
Number 2, the snack wraps, which are coming back this month.
I think they might be back already.
Ooh. And number 1, the McRib. I don't even know how this got to number 1 on the list. It always comes back. It will always come back.
It's like a horror movie. It's always going to come
the
back.
The people who like the McRib love it, and I just can't understand it. My wife is one of those people. She loves the McRib, and I
Yeah.
just find it to be the most disgusting thing.
I can't do it.
I tried it, remember?
Yeah.
This last time around.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yucky.
Fake bones.
It's
Got no bones.
I'm at McDonald's. I just want a Big Mac. Quarter pounder's fine, you know. Like
he is in rare form today.
I just want a Big Mac. I don't want your stupid fake rib sandwich.
I want the fruit and yogurt parfait, man.
Kevin has just been stabbed.
Did you
And
guys
he's
ever
talking
eat
about
the
the
fruit
Big
and
Mac.
yogurt parfait?
I just want a Big Mac.
Am I the only one who ever had?
Yeah. What do you think?
All right.
Look around the room.
Forgot who I was talking
Look
to.
at the 4 of us, and then ask which one of the 4 of us has had a fruit and yogurt parfait. at
your
McDonald's.
audience.
Yeah, me and yogurt don't get along. He just wants a Big Mac. I just want a Big Mac.
If they had yogurts with a bunch of McNuggets in them, then maybe I would order that.
McNugget yogis. What if they put the spicy McNuggets into a blizzard?
Ooh, now we're talking.
Drizzled with the hot mustard entree.
Oh, I had a
gotta
question for you
deal.
guys. There's a current McDonald's commercial where they take an ice cream cone and dip it in a soda. Am I missing something here?
No, they
Well,
put it in there.
they might be trying to get on. I've not seen this, but they might be trying to get on the dirty soda craze that is
Yeah.
taking over fast food places. Which is basically, as we've talked about before, in certain parts of the country, there's a regional flavor where you take like a soda and you put like cream in it, essentially, just like some creamer.
Wouldn't it be more of a float than a dirty soda?
That's kind of what it is. Like you're dumping the soft serve into your drink. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then that would be.
So they're doing it with like the orange drink to do it like an orange sickle thingy.
Well, now
So
there's
it's
a
something
thought.
you
And
can
then
order or something you just do yourself?
I don't know, but I've seen what you saw. I saw it's a commercial, right?
Yeah.
I seen what he saw.
I love-
seen what you see.
This is like
Wheeler's the MVP
I
today.
seen what he
I
saw.
gotta give Andrew a shout out though, because Andrew's like, "Now I did not see what you saw." Like he's trying to keep his hands clean. He takes this very
He's got his
seriously.
hands up,
I do
too.
not know.
He's not
Hey.
going to comment and besmirch
No,
McDonald's.
this is like his religion.
He's very
Yeah,
cautious.
No. This is like throwing stuff around about Jesus to a Christian.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'll go to McDonald's tonight and they'll be like, "We heard what you said."
Yeah.
You didn't see what he saw.
You did not see what he saw.
You ain't seen what he seen.
I'm going to re-educate you.
Just want a big.
Just want a Big Mac. Or a quarter pounder.
Lombardo?
Yeah, building on your lot can feel overwhelming. Most of us have very little understanding of what goes into building on your own land. And of course, every municipality out there is going to have different rules and requirements. That's why you should call our friends at Lombardo Homes. They have a build on your lot program called Anywhere Lombardo, where they have the tools, the expertise to evaluate your property, get you some different floor plans and options, provide you with pricing, and build the home that best fits your needs on time and on budget.
They are a superlative group of people. Mike Van Pamel, the president, my buddy Mel, everyone over there, they truly do care. I've seen them behind the scenes. Like, here's the deal with my clients, they can bitch to me. Like, when it's just us, you know, they can say, oh, these people are these. They don't. They call the close ones against themselves. If you want a 2,000 square foot house on 10 acres or a 10,000 square foot house on 2 acres, they can make anything happen at LombardoHomes.com.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
Rolling hot dogs super fat on a fluffy bun. All beef hot dogs rolling in. Hurry, cause they're on the run. Pick your toppings anyway. Roll into this deal. Pick your two, big Q2. Rollin' makes a meal. Mustard relish, sauerkraut. Ain't no need to scream and shout. Get 2 all beef hot dogs and a big Q for $5. Only at QT. More than a gas station.
Renewal by Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Just dial pound 250 on your phone and say the keyword windows. That's pound 250 keyword windows, or head to rbastl.com.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
.325 DGS on KMOX. Have you guys seen the Conspiracy theory that we all died in 2020. I think I just killed Wheeler. You okay?
Yeah. People believe the dumbest things.
What's the show? And at the end, they were all living in a snow globe. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
From like the 80s or something.
Yes, Godfather.
What was it?
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, that
though.
happened. What was that?
I don't know.
I have to Google that. There was a show that, like, their last episode, they just zoomed out,
Yeah,
and it was a snow globe.
It was like none of it was real.
Oh, Saint Elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Saint Elsewhere? That's how it ended?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry to anyone who was planning on
It
watching
made people really mad at the time. They're like, what? This was all in a, or was it in the snow globe, or was it in the kid's mind?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was like the kid's mind.
And he was just staring at a snow globe.
Because he was just like messing with a snow globe that had
Yeah.
the hospital and the people inside it.
Yeah.
And so it was all
That's got to be
his
one of the
imagination.
first real big cop-outs.
Yeah.
It sure felt like it to a lot of folks. I don't think I ever watched that, though.
People were upset about Newhart, right, too? But that one
Yeah.
wasn't quite as bad because it's
Yeah.
like a comedy.
What happened at the end of Newhart?
It was, he was dreaming.
He was...
You're going to say he was drunk.
He dreamt it all?
Well, he was with his wife from the Bob Newhart show.
Right.
And then he did Newhart with a different wife.
Right, right.
And at the end of that series, he woke up with his first wife.
Yeah.
And
All
he
right.
and he had dreamed the whole second series.
Okay.
Do you guys see?
That's at least a joke.
Man, that would make me mad as a wife. I'm like, oh, okay, so
I
you got
see.
a dream wife
Mm-hmm.
that went on for like 4 seasons.
Yeah. You got a dream wife you spent half a decade with?
Why don't you
Okay.
have her go make you some coffee?
Your subconscious mind has made me mad.
Then she'd say, I seen what you saw.
I seen what you
Just wanted a Big Mac.
on that Big Mac commercial.
I seen it.
No feet.
They was putting the ice cream in the soda pop.
I seen it.
I seen it.
You didn't see what they saw.
Meanwhile, Andrew's like, I'm going to be very careful here because I will not speak out of turn.
He's
Now
like,
listen, I do not want to be.
Point of parliamentary procedure.
I do not want to be misunderstood.
Andrew takes a knee at the big golden arches.
I will not be perjuring myself.
Perjuring yourself. What?
Tell you guys about the Gelman team. So I really apologize to Mark and Neil because I've been doing the same live now for a few months, but it's accurate. And it's based on what Neil Gelman was saying a couple weeks ago when he was on the show, and that is it's very different locally than it is nationally. Nationally, if you're watching the NBC Nightly News, you may see a story about how the real estate market is soft, and it is. But in St. Louis, it's very accurate. It's no longer the days when you could list a house for $500,000 and someone would offer you $600 by noon. It's not like that. So you're going to need a good realtor. You have to kind of earn it now. You have to put your best foot forward. The good news is that the Gelman team can take your house on your street, in your neighborhood, in your subdivision, in your town, and make it as absolutely attractive as possible. As I always say, if you want to sell your house as quickly as possible for the most amount of money with the least amount of upset on you, it's the Gelman team. I've done it 3 times now with them over the past few years. 314-336-1991. If you want to find out what your house is worth right now without talking to anybody, go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Wake up informed. Wake up empowered. Wake up to Total Information AM, your morning must.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. I'm Megan Lynch.
This is Tom Ackerman. From local news to breaking headlines to weather, traffic, and the stories that matter most, we've got you covered before your first sip of coffee. Expert analysis, bright perspectives from the people you trust. Total Information AM. Your day starts here. Mornings beginning at 5 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This is National Cancer Survivor Awareness Month, and we are joined by Dr. Lindsay Peterson.
And the program at Siteman Cancer Center is always evolving to address the needs of all of our patients. And so we want to know, what patients need, what we can do for them, and we want to make sure that we're providing those different resources for them.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, they just called out emergency crews for a crash. It looks like it's in the center. Well, yeah, the center lane. Hey, boy, that truck's really crunched up. Eastbound 64 just before 141. Center lane is blocked. They'll probably block an additional lane when they show up there. There's just a short jam right now back to about Timberlake on eastbound 64 right now because of it. Westbound 64 is not bad. Science Center to Clayton Skinker, Spady out to Ballas, and then Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to 70 is all heavy. Westbound Highway 70 just slow from west of Lake St. Louis out through 61. Downtown, we have this emergency repair work going on. Eastbound 5570 just east of 64 between there and Exchange. Supposed to have it wrapped up by 5 this evening, but traffic is jammed back to about Jefferson on the Missouri side, and it's jamming the eastbound 70 traffic back to the Illinois end of the Musial Veterans Bridge as well. Southbound 55 south of Arsenal to Bates is busy. After that, not so bad. South 270 just slow, but it's from Page to Bend all the way down almost to 55. There was a minor crash on the right shoulder in the area there. Roadwork delays north 170, the Rock Road headed up to 70. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands. Because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is Victor Scott II, and there's something for everyone at Busch Stadium. Meet us at the ballpark on Sunday, July 13th, as the Cardinals take on the Braves. 20,000 fans ages 16 and up will score a slick retro warm-up jersey courtesy of Mercy, and 10,000 kids 15 and under can grab a one-of-a-kind Cardinals basketball thanks to the Pasta House Company. It's fun for the whole family. Don't miss it. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotion. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Celebrate Independence Day with a free concert by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America. July 2nd, 7 p.m. at Logan University in Chesterfield, showcasing patriotic music and more. Get free tickets at afbandtix.org. That's afbandtix.org.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America 4th of July concerts.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 334. Hot take. I don't like patriotic music.
What?
I like music. I'm patriotic. I don't like patriotic music. It's boring.
Is this the patriotic music you're referring to?
What about that says I
tolerate
love
it. Tolerate it for a
America?
day.
Yeah.
See, it sounds like you don't enjoy the style of music that is employed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am with like that and Christmas carols, right? It's not so much the songs and what they're about; it's just the sound of them.
Right. Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
I've seen what you see.
There's not much better to me than like Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
Like that's great. But that's because it's a rock and roll version, not just a regular.
Well said. Hello, Dave Murray.
Wow, two cranky guys on a
Oh,
Tuesday.
no.
There's happy.
There's one of us that's especially cranky today, so.
I mean, it's kind of my job.
He likes nothing.
I definitely didn't like that top 10 list. That stunk.
Yeah, Dave Murray, do you have a subscription to the New York Times by chance?
Of course he does.
I do not. Wall Street Journal, that's for me.
They have
That's
a top 100 films of the 21st
Oh,
century list.
I heard about that. I saw the top 10.
Yes.
That's
That's what we
ridiculous.
discussed as well.
See, it's not just me. Dave Murray agrees.
It was like
trash list.
What are these? What are these
Yes,
movies?
exactly.
Well,
and then
we
the
are so
greatest
happy.
movies of all time just not in there. Can't have something cool in there. Not allowed to have Lord of the Rings.
Bobby Burris says Andrew has really grown over the years to become an important part of the show. Good job, buddy.
Oh, no.
Whoa, very nice.
How's that make you feel?
It's nice.
That's the third grumpy guy of the day.
It's nice.
But
well, the buddy is potentially now. I here's my problem. My problem in life is that I say buddy all the time, but if somebody says buddy to me, I'm like, what does that mean?
Take it easy,
Do you
buddy.
think like they're being
Condescending.
Yeah, right. But then when I do it, I don't
job,
mean
buddy.
it.
so sort of like he's doing this, like
Yeah, which I'm sure is not what he means.
No.
Because it's not what I mean when I say it constantly.
Yeah,
like
you
every
should.
other sentence I say it, but I don't mean anything by
You
it.
should be hearing that in your own voice, the way you
Come
say
on,
it.
Rachel, you and I got to get out of here. This is catching.
Dave, you helped me, man. You did your job.
Yeah, and I'm not cranky at all. I'm getting lumped in with these two
Yeah,
fools.
yeah, that's true.
I'm not cranky. I'm just, I just want to make
just
sure.
mad.
I'm not
I want to make
cranky,
sure
I'm just
Bobby is.
fussy.
Just want to make sure Bobby's pure of heart. I am a little fussy.
Pure
Fussy's
of heart.
fussy is a good word.
Yeah,
A little
you need
fussy.
a nap.
Okay,
Yeah.
Brian brings up a good point. How do you like it when a kid checking you out at the store calls you boss?
Hate it.
Oh, really?
I love it.
Hate
Makes me
it.
feel,
I
makes you
hate
feel like a
that.
big man.
I hate that term. Too.
Oh,
yeah.
I love
See,
it
I got
because then that
sucked
means
into the group.
I gotta come up with a comeback, and I can come up with another one. Like,
No, you just call him boss right back.
everything good, fella,
And you guys just keep bouncing
Pal.
boss off each
Thanks,
other.
Chief.
buddy, chief.
You
Yeah,
know what I
man,
say? I'm not your boss.
That's aggressive.
Another good one is bro. What's up, boss? I don't know. How you doing, bro?
I bounced Champ off of somebody not
Champ?
that long ago. I felt
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah,
I
Champ's
felt
not
very
good.
bad.
Did you lead with it, or were you responding to something?
Well, I was just like, "What's up, Champ?" to like a guy that was checking me out, and I felt horrible
can't
about
do
it.
No,
that.
that's
I
bad.
know it was bad. I didn't mean it to be bad, but as soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh,
Damn.
Like if you said that to
Oh,
a little
that's
kid,
terrible.
that's fine, right? You little kid, like, "Hey, champ, how you doing, buddy?" Like that's fine, but it makes it sound like you're talking to the older
It's
guy.
got to
Like
be
that.
a real little kid.
Yeah.
You can't say that to a 10-year-old.
Really?
No.
They don't like champ?
What's up, champ?
I think a 10-year-old would
Kick you
get
in the nuts.
Yeah, I think I think a 10-year-old would not like Champ.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 7-year-old.
Bobby says his dude better.
Yeah. What's up, dude?
It is.
How about ham bone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ham bone.
Now we're just making stuff up.
Let's get that started. Let's get people
man.
saying that across St. Louis.
If Bobby hit me
Come
with a
on.
Champ, I would never recover. I would get up and go home if Bobby hit me with a Champ.
Good job,
This is
champ.
clearly a guy thing. This
Yeah.
is just all guy thing.
Thanks for the gas and the hot dog.
Champ. Dave Murray raises a good point, Rach. Do women have anything of this
Yeah,
sort?
do you guys do that to each other?
Not really. Like sometimes it'll be like sweetie or honey, but I always take it well.
How do you feel about ma'am?
Sometimes I don't love it because it's like I'm a kid like you, person who's 15 years younger than me.
I'm just a baby.
Yeah. But
We're the
I've,
same.
I've learned to live with it. Sometimes
Ma'am.
when like a 17-year-old calls me hun, they're not doing anything wrong, but I'm like, I should be calling you hun. You're
Yeah.
my hun. I'm not your hun.
I'm yours.
Whose son would you be?
Like anyone older than me.
Yeah, like
it's a
somebody
hierarchy
who's,
thing.
40, 45.
How about if
could
it's
be.
an older man?
That's totally fine.
Totally fine. As long as you're not creeped by it.
Yes, and that's the thing is like there are people who are like, under no circumstances should you call
Yeah.
me this and this. It's like you obviously then you don't have friends or
People you're
working
comfortable with.
relationships. Yeah, with people you're comfortable with because that's just something that people say. That's nice. It can be really nice. It can be really creepy if you don't know the person or they're giving off bad vibes.
Yeah.
But it can be very nice and very
Like
welcome.
if they said, "I seen what you saw, huh?"
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I don't know you.
Yeah, what if the guy was like, I seen what you've seen, champ?
Be like,
I'd say, pardon me,
I
sir,
like
I'm going to run away.
I am a sucker for terms of endearment.
You call a lot of people hon.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I like being called that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine.
It's good.
Kev, you call me that anytime you want, honey.
All right. I'm big on the names.
Sweetheart.
I will say, like, now that I'm at this age, anytime I'm going, like, let's say I'm going through the Jimmy John's drive-thru or something, and it's like a 21-year-old serving me, like, I feel it in my heart. I want to be like, thank you, sweetie. But then it's like, is that weird? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you look too young.
Yeah, I don't want to creep anybody out.
Yeah.
But, like, just know it's in my heart. Like, you.
You are my sweetie.
I love you for no reason. I just think you're adorable. Just because you're young.
It's good. It's good. I think we made some progress here.
I think Jake's got onto it, though. Jake's got the South Park reference.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your guy, friend. I'm not your friend, pal.
I'm not your friend, buddy.
Terrence and Phillip for the win. Oh, yeah.
Not your boss.
Not your boss, bro. Not your bro, pal.
Yeah, I don't
You call
like.
me bro sometimes, Kevin. Is that's a term of endearment?
All right.
You like me, right?
Please.
That was a good one.
You're like, what if I started calling you bro? I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Whatever you feel like, man. Don't affect me at all.
I'm not going to clock it. What do you do?
So, honey, do you want to know the forecast?
Yes. Thank you, dear. It's pretty here, pumpkin butt.
Get after it.
It's great. It's great. For this time of year, this is a top 10 day. Top 10 day.
Nice.
Beautiful evening on tap. Basically, think upper 70s for evening plans. Sunset about 8:30 now, latest sunsets of the year. Tomorrow's still a great day. Sunny skies, comfortable, 89 degrees. It's a little bit warmer, 4 or 5 degrees, but humidity levels are still good. Clear skies, 69 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny. A slow buildup in the humidity Thursday afternoon, 93. Friday, 4th of July, it's summer. Sunny, hot, and humid. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm. 95 for the high on Friday. Friday evening activities for all that patriotic music Dave loves. It's going to be great. Just great.
Nice. I wonder when we figured out humidity. Like, how far back? I'm sure going all the way
that's a
back,
good
people
question.
are like, wow, I don't feel good.
I don't know the answer to that, and I should know the answer to that. Google that. Somebody Google that.
Wheels is on it.
Yep.
Google that.
Got distracted.
It's the history of
What'd you
humidity.
get distracted by?
I saw a thing on the Twitter.
Oh, dude.
Was it about baseball?
Of course it was about baseball.
It was, actually. I was like, I saw a baseball thing. Cannot ignore that.
Oh, we were sitting there today having the nicest conversation about me and, my needs and how Kevin could help them. And then she's, of course, in his position, hands straight out like Frankenstein on his keyboard. And he just goes, oh, no! And I go, what? And he goes, Penguin McGee just got traded to the Marlins.
Yeah,
and
dang it.
I don't do that to a man of my age.
He was good.
I'm picturing the tweet he just saw was like, okay, baseball fans, who likes it whenever they hit the ball with the bat? And Wills was like, I can't let this one pass me by.
I do. I like it.
I like it.
It was
Favorite this tweet if you like when it goes real far. And he's like clicking the thing as hard as he
It's a home run. By the way, your answer is it dates back to the late 14th century.
Oh.
Yeah,
Concept of
it's got to
humidity.
go way, way back.
Yeah.
Okay, Wheels, what is your favorite thing that happens in baseball? Like, when are you like, this is the peak?
The big home run.
Yeah, exactly,
It's not-
right?
Yeah, like
It's
the
not
When it
stealing
goes real
home.
far.
No,
I would think stealing home would be.
Yeah, but most of them are not like real steals home. You get the occasional real one.
I think he just feels bad for the pitcher and the catcher when somebody steals home.
No, just that there's nothing like that feeling of hitting a ball and it's gone.
You
and
ever
then
had
that
home stolen on you?
sound. I don't think so. Not in a traditional way. Not like a straight up, like they stole home. More of like a double steal.
Hell yeah.
Where you got first and third, and the runner on first goes, and maybe you throw down to second, and then they try, and then there's a relay and all that
Well,
stuff.
we've all been there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Too much information.
Yeah. You asked.
You hit. You
did. I'm
found
sorry.
the outer parameter of
Yeah.
Dave's interest.
I just kind of zoned out there for a
Dave
minute.
just wanted the yes or no answer. Yes, Dave, that did happen.
That sound was you hitting the Dave
fascinating.
Murray wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, pal.
You having fun with your grandson, Dave?
All right, dude. I am.
Good.
We had a great day at the beach yesterday. We had a great morning. We went out and searched for our dinner. Got that.
Yeah. What'd you get? Steak, rice.
We're doing
Corn?
steak, rice, corn. We did get corn.
Hey, now we're talking.
mussels, clams, and shrimp.
Damn.
Shrimp.
Can have a
Whoa.
boil.
Hey.
We are
Dave,
doing a boil.
See how he likes Champ, man. Try it out on him.
Yeah, call him cheese.
Call him Champ. Dave,
I do
Call
call
him
him
Coach
ham
Cheese.
bone from
Ham
time
bone?
to time. He likes that. Yeah, he likes that. He
That's
does
good.
like that.
He's like, I'm ham bone.
If you call him Cheese, I feel like that'll be the name. His memoir will be like, my grandfather called me Cheese.
Dude, if you put that kind of nickname on a boy, it's never going away.
No.
No,
My grandfather was a fascinating man. He called me a different name every day.
You will be called Cheese. You'll be called Cheese for the rest of your life. That'll be on your baseball card. Cheese McGee.
Cheese Murray. That's how you would say it.
I kind of like Cheese McGee though. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Cheese McGee.
Yeah, hit him with it. See what he thinks. He might love it.
You know what? I'm going to. See what he does.
Get him in here now. Let's talk to this young lad.
Hey, listen here, Cheese McGee.
Let's talk to Cheese.
He's going to be known as Cheese Murray when he's
Cheese
15.
Murray.
The next time he gets out of line, just do this, Dave. Hey, you watch it, Mayor McCheese. You're like, what the hell's a Mayor McCheese? The hell's a McCheese? Why is he the mayor? Don't make me call the Hamburglar. Okay.
All right.
Good. All right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
That's it. Okay. No,
That's
fine.
it.
Bye.
That's all.
Dave's like, thank God.
All right, dude.
See you, bro.
Tell you guys about my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. And I feel like I've been talking too much about people who are not Mark Cantor, talking too much about other law firms who have just lost the friggin' thread, man. They are just doing stupid stuff all the time. Let me focus on Mark. So Mark is a very smart guy, and I'm not saying that like the throwaway, like, oh, he's a really smart guy. He's an exceptionally intelligent guy, and he is, unlike me, a grown-up and a great planner. And so when he started out, he knew what he wanted was to have a plaintiff's firm. Of course, everyone wants to have the best plaintiff's firm in town, but so many people have tried to do the regional or national thing, and Mark hasn't taken that bait. He's not looking to be a gazillionaire. He just wants to do the best job for you, a St. Louis person who's been injured through someone else's negligence that he can possibly be. So if you've been hurt at work or by a medical staff, or maybe an elderly loved one is not being treated well in their nursing home, whatever it happens to be, make the first call to Cantor Injury Law. A very nice person will talk to you. You'll end up talking to Mr. Cantor personally, and if he believes you have a case, he'll go forward. He'll forward all of the costs. It costs you absolutely nothing unless you win. Call 314-628-9999 or Cantor with a C, CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we've got our trouble on Highway 64 eastbound. This traffic report is a service of Anderson Hospital. It's the crash eastbound 64 just before 141. Only the two left lanes are open. EMS crews are on the scene. Traffic's jammed back to about Chesterfield Parkway West on eastbound 64. Westbound 64 Boyle headed out through McCausland's heavy. Lindbergh to 270 slow. About Boone's Crossing through Long Road to about the Spirit Overpass is busy. And then again, 364 out to 70. Westbound 70 west of Lake St. Louis through 61's heavy. Southbound 270 stop and go pocket south of Page down to a crash they just cleared to the shoulder at Manchester. And then it's still slow from 44 all the way down almost to 55 from the earlier crash we had just before that point. Westbound 44, the right lane's at Geyer. It's slow through 141. Southbound 55 south of Arsenal to Bates, stop and go pockets, but it looks pretty good in Jefferson County. And this emergency repair work Eastbound 5570 at Exchange in the right lanes has eastbound 64 jam back past Union Station. 44 is backed up to 55. And westbound 70 out and eastbound 70 around the Muswell Veterans Bridge. Heavy eastbound, of course, over to that 64 interchange is jammed. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Serving the Metro East region with excellence, Anderson Hospital is proud to be named one of Newsweek's World's Best Hospitals for 2025. Experience world-class care close to home. AndersonHospital.org.
It doesn't take a lot to make a big difference.
That's why we've teamed up with Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling to bring you 100 Acts of Kindness.
For the next 6 months, the Chris and Amy Show is challenging you to spread kindness in simple, meaningful ways. No big budget needed.
Write a thank you note, help a neighbor, surprise someone with a smile. It all counts.
Let's prove that kindness is contagious. Share your acts with us by using hashtag 100KindActs.
Because a little kindness goes a long way. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your time outdoors. At Rottler Pest Solutions, our mosquito control services are designed to dramatically reduce mosquito activity so you can enjoy your yard in peace. Take back your yard. Visit Rottler.com today to learn more and schedule your free inspection.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water.